Off and running. It's the Wednesday edition of the Huddle. Welcome in. Drew, Billy, and Armin bringing it to you right here from headquarters inside the iHeart Milwaukee Megaplex. We are going to have some fun today. It's Hot Take Hump Day. It's halftime of the week, right?
Come on now.
We are going to bring it for you. We're going to hear of Armin's exploits last evening at Panther Arena with the Milwaukee Admirals. We're going to talk to El Jefe. We're going to hump some hot takes. And we have to ask the question, and I mean this with all due respect and in all seriousness, do they have internet capability in Bristol, Connecticut and at ESPN headquarters? Because on the drive in today, our buddy Ben Maller, our opening act,
he's a wild ride, man.
He's like got his own Stern like whack pack.
He's got the callers, the whack pack. They argue with each other. It's wild.
Intense, dude. You wake up at 4 and all of a sudden Ben will wake you up at 4.
It's been enjoyable. Listen,
Ben was in spots or something, and I flipped over to the Worldwide Leader, and their morning show is nothing like what Ben does. It's a little bit more meat and potatoes, straight missionary position.
I was going to say a lot easier to put you to bed.
And it's all like scores and analysis and throw to tape of stuff that aired on the shows and they've been feeding the beast.
Stephen A. Smith highlight reel.
Yeah, they've been feeding the beast of the Giannis rumors. Now, there was a lot of other shiny objects in the NBA yesterday. A lot of trades, some blockbusters, an 8-player trade, Memphis, Utah. James Harden, of course, trying to carve a path to finally get a ring.
Didn't ask for it though. He didn't ask for it. Didn't ask for it. Appreciated them doing it, though.
They got to the Giannis thing, and they basically were recycling all the same things about these teams are making aggressive offers, and the Bucks are counter-offering, and there's offers, and are the Bucks going to trade Giannis now or in the summer? And I'm like, I raised my hand. I'm like, yeah, Drew from Milwaukee.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Our pal Jim Osarski had a story and talked with Giannis last night, and he said a lot of amazing things. And they apparently don't get the internet in Bristol, or it's delayed coming out of Milwaukee, because there was no mention of what Giannis told the Journal Sentinel. Because in this breach of information with all speculation and no one on the record and no one who do you want to hear from in this story? You want to hear from Shams more? You want to hear from Brian Windhorst? Do you want to hear from the man himself? You want to hear from Giannis?
Giannis
We've been waiting for it.
Jim Osarski talked to Giannis. When did you guys see this? Because I was like Billy, I had to take a little potty break, and I got the alert and I saw it.
Well, Drew, that's funny that you said that, because I did roll over last night in the midst of a 31-0 run from the AFC, and I thought I could put the kids to bed. I thought the flag football Pro Bowl was over, and rolled over, and I kind of dozed off for a good 20-30 minutes, and then I got a series of tweets, and one from an old friend of mine, ball boy friend of mine, said, Jimmy O just dunked all over. Like, hold on. I'm gonna have to fire up that old Blue Sky app. I gotta go see it. Right. Gotta go see if the numbers are on there. Instead, the handy dandy Milwaukee Journal Sentinel app as well, JS Online, already had the story right at the front, rightfully so. And I got it at about 9:30 last night. Enjoyed it, scrolled for a while, kept myself up for an extra 45 minutes because the clear as day quotes that it felt like you got from Sam Amick, you kind of got doubled down upon by Jimmy O. And it does also show where maybe the conversation has changed a little bit more inside of Fiserv Foreman, inside the Milwaukee Bucks offices than we were giving a little bit of credit to.
I am now absolutely 99.9% convinced that Giannis will not be moved at the deadline.
Steadfast that he's not moved at the deadline.
Yeah, it sure seems that way.
It's his camp. Like, it's just so Jim Osarski, so he got him after, as the Bucks were getting ready to play. Giannis didn't play last night against the Bulls. Obviously, he's out. Bucks won the game against the Bulls,
which was nice. Kyle Kuzma, what's up, man? 31 points. You auditioning?
But Jimmy's story, as the Bucks were getting ready, he got him outside the locker in the hallway, and he's joking with people, and he gets him serious. And the money quote was, the question was, "What do you want?
What do you want?" Like Ryan Gosling, right? In the Notebook. What do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want?
Like the question you ask every night for dinner.
You know, Giannis said, what I want deep down in my heart is I want to be a Milwaukee Buck for the rest of my career and win here.
Man, that's emotional when you see that in print.
It is.
And then, like for me, at least it was.
Heard that table rattle over there.
He then outlined how he came back too quickly from his first calf strain to get hurt again. And he said the team told him to come out in the first quarter. I said, F no, I'm not coming out. I'm playing. Why do I play? Because I have something I'm chasing something, or because I love my team? I play because I bleed green. I play because I know what I've built here. For me, it's a huge puzzle. It's a huge Lego piece that I've built, and I don't like people taking out pieces from it. I want to keep on building as much as I can.
I love that.
What does that show? Does that show a guy that's not going to be here? Is that what my actions show? I can tell you whatever I want, but what do my actions show? That I want to be here. I want to be here with people that know what it takes to win.
Okay.
Those become money quotes as well later on into the conversation.
And he goes on to say, this is probably going to be the best story. In 20 years, they're going to be talking about this story right here. I came here when I was 18, a human being. When is the time they have the earliest memories? Around the age of what? 4 or 5, right? So from 5 to 18 is 13 years. From the time I could remember, I came here from 18 to 31, which is 13 years. I've spent more time in Milwaukee, Wisconsin than in my country, referring to Greece.
Mm-hmm.
I've created more memories in this city than in my country. The only memory I know from my country is sell stuff in the street, go to practice, live in fear, protect my brothers as much as I can, be a good kid, be a kind kid. So here, I'll tell you what I've known here. I've known what it is to be an NBA player, what it is to make it to the NBA. I've learned what it is to be an all-star player. I've learned how to be a champion. I've learned how to be an MVP. I've learned how to be a father. I got married in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and also legally from the courthouse. And also, I've had my kids here. My father is buried here. So tell me, when I open the passport of my kids and it says born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, my dad is buried here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So people have the audacity to come and tell me this guy really doesn't love Milwaukee. I don't love Milwaukee? Not the people that know. The people of the city know how much I love them. This city has let me be myself, let me be a father, let me be a husband, and have let me be my own true self. I'm walking in the street. People don't bother me. But there's going to be the whole other people because here's 8 billion people in this world that have their own opinion. Opinions are cheap. That's why everybody has one. He didn't go to the analogy that we all went to that your dad would tell
I was going to say, great censorship.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know what he's thinking.
They let me be myself in the city, and I ask for one thing only. And then Jimmy put those periods in because that's the way Giannis talks.
Yeah.
To bring joy back to this city.
Wow.
Because this city deserves it. We've been at the top, and I know we can have down years, but we have to continue to have the mindset, period. Okay? And if that's not the case, then I've seen the love of the people and what they wish for me. If that's not the case, and people have different agendas within our own team, something's got to change. That's all. This is where it gets hedgy. Because right now you're all like, okay, great.
And
awesome.
This is where I thought it got juicy.
And this is where it gets hedgy.
Mm-hmm.
And like this whole thing. Asked what his input into the discussions about the trading deadline, he said 0. I'm not involved in talking about a trade.
I am not. I'm just an employee.
Now, okay, so then Jimmy goes on with some expository stuff about how, Giannis's biological clock is ticking.
Mm-hmm. 31 years old, 13 years in the 15 years in the league.
He says
a lot of miles.
He will not say he's lost faith in the ability of the ownership and John Horst to build a contending roster around him. He said about that, I always listen. That's why I'm still here. I always listen and trust. But what I'm trying to say, how many chances do I have left to win a championship? You just got to be more careful and more urgent in every decision that you make moving forward. It doesn't change. I think I've listened since day one, and that will never change. I have great respect, love, and likeness for John and the ownership, and that they will never be different. They won't change. But at the end of the day, and then Jim Ozarski, the reporter that he is, there was an 8-second pause.
That's beautiful.
You got to look. Okay.
And that I agree with.
Now, he said, but does the recent past, winning the most games in the NBA from 2018 to 25, the huge trades for Drew Holiday and Damian Lillard, do they show that they can do it again? And Giannis said, you cannot say. I've always been, always, this is the NBA. I love watching it. I always make hypothetical scenarios. What if I play with LeBron? What if I play with Kevin Durant? What if I play with Michael Jordan? What if I play with Kobe? Everybody makes hypothetical scenarios. What if you could get blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you have to commit somewhere, right? You have to commit somewhere. And I think for 13 years, I've committed here more than anybody, any player ever committed. If you ask me what do I really want, deep down in my heart, I want to be a Milwaukee Buck until I retire and win a championship here. End of sentence.
Well, he dropped the mic there, didn't he?
I
mean, in that sense,
but
except
then,
there was no mark.
But there's more.
But there's the hedge.
There's more, right?
There's
if
more.
that's not possible to happen, and if then you realize maybe that's not the case, and maybe they're looking elsewhere, and that's not what they're trying to do, then automatically you have to be in the plans of what they're trying to do or weigh the other options. It's normal. I know what my goal is. I don't know what their goal is.
That's it.
I know that I talk to them, but I don't think it's fair to share the conversations I talk with them. They haven't come into the game recently.
Ooh.
We haven't been so good, so they're probably upset. I bet you can talk to them, ask them, what's your goal? What do you want to do? They might want to reveal. They might even want to sell. They might want to do some other things. Maybe. I don't know. The Bucks, by the way, had no comment for Ozarski when he asked for comment.
Yeah, correct. Well, they were hiring a head coach.
So then he couldn't leave it at that. My wife has said, she told me, they said you asked out.
I love that she asked him about
And Ozarski said,
Ryan just gets thrown under the bus.
they do say that was the
every
reply. And he said, I ask out every year. It's true. Every year. Not this year. It's every year I've asked. But this is the closest I've been to it. And he laughed again. He smiled again. And he evaluates and reevaluates where he and the team are at every year, where they're going. That's what you're supposed to do. He said, that's what you're supposed to do. I've committed. I've been 13 years here. 13, man. Do you really think I want to leave? Do people really think I want to leave? And with that, he darted quickly back into the Bucks locker room. Oh my.
Wow. and Jim, as you mentioned, the great reporter he is, found different ways to set and paint as much of a picture of it as possible. He clearly wanted to say something, Drew. He clearly wanted to say exactly what he laid out there.
Yeah.
And it was very, very well discussed and very, very well, like you kind of said, a little bit edgy, but honest, and as honest as you could be.
And this has been in the universe for coming up on what, 9, 12, almost 12 hours in this era. And the national, no one picked it up yet.
Somebody had to wake up then.
So the question is why, right? I mean, do they pick it up because they don't see it? Well, maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. But I think it's more that they don't want to see it. They don't want to.
That's what I'm saying.
Just like every time.
Is the agenda?
Every time last week I brought up the aspect of the Sam Amick report, it was always dismissed. Well, now is that because it's written and there's no tape? Like, would it be more effective if there was tape of him saying it? I don't know, but it just sure seems like it's not what they want. I mean, it does, Shams and these guys, it's not following their kind of agenda or what they've got going. So they want to pretend it doesn't exist, right? They want to pretend it doesn't exist.
It would seem that way. It's like we finally heard from Giannis himself. This isn't an agent. This isn't, a source. This is the dude.
Yeah, this is the dude. And I wonder, is it just because it's written and not heard? Because it seems like there's
part of it.
Video and audio do have an effect on people.
I don't know if Jimmy, a lot of times, like McCalvy and those guys, see, in my beat hack days, we didn't have cameras.
No, that's the thing.
You had your tape recorder and you go and transcribe stuff, and you didn't have to push video into social and stuff.
And
I'm always amazed at those guys that can do, if I'm trying to frame up the shot and think about what I'm going to ask and stuff. There's a reason. Yeah, that MMJ thing, that multimedia journalist thing, that is now what guys have to do. That's a different breed. You got to worry about your video and audio.
It's a different
and you might have to
aspect.
get one of those Micah Parsons camcorders that he had last night.
Yeah, that was good. But I just think that's part of it. But I also think it's more the other side of it. It's like for people that want to believe or want to persist or want to push the idea that a trade is imminent and it's going to happen. For most of NBA fans outside of Milwaukee, this is interesting and fun for them to think that. It's not interesting and fun for them to hear a guy say, I really wanted to stay here forever. They want to believe that a trade's about to happen so they can sit all day and wait for the trade deadline to happen so they can this is what's fun for NBA fans. So I think there's a lot of that too, is that like they want to believe some crazy trade's about to happen. Not that everyone's just happy staying where they are.
They do need 36 hours more of content until the 2:00 deadline.
That's it.
Tomorrow. But there's also, this is, and I do appreciate the consistency of Shams. Because, Armin, you bring up the Amick report and article and conversation interview he had a couple of weeks ago. I don't know that Shams posted anything in response to those quotes.
Just ignores it.
Not once.
Yeah,
I think it completely ignored
totally
it. So
ignores it.
if you did that then on January 8th, you probably should a day and a half before the deadline if you're going to continue with what you've pushed, that this is the first time it's been true.
No.
But I do also think that, if he wakes up today and gets up on Get Up, that you can very much still say he did put out there what was true. And what the reporting has kind of shifted to is, this isn't a Giannis trade request, that this feels a lot more like due diligence of an ownership group that in the statement that Giannis makes, I think he clearly says this is a different Milwaukee Bucks organization.
Right.
than the one that I've built for a long time in all of those 13 years.
Yeah, and that this is them doing this, not me.
Yeah.
Not me.
It's
Yes.
they.
Not me.
I don't know what they want. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yes.
It's they. So that part's true. Giannis is clearly steadfast and crafted in saying, he doesn't want anyone to have a chance to put anything on him like he asked out or he wanted out. This is a totally them thing. I'm committed to Milwaukee and all that type of verbiage. So that part is very careful by Giannis. There's no question about it.
We did hear from Jim. We did get Jim, not Jim Ozarski, Jimmy Haslam, owner of the Milwaukee Bucks from the Haslam ownership group yesterday, while he introduced his head coach of another team that he owns in the Cleveland Browns, which has been a dynamo of success. This was Jimmy Haslam speaking on the ongoing trade conversations around Giannis yesterday. I probably should plug in to be able to get through to the audio as cleanly as possible.
Jason, Giannis is, I don't know, top 3, top 4 player in the world. He brought Milwaukee its first championship in 50 years, several years ago. And he's a really good person too. He's no problem. He's a great leader, tries hard. And I think Giannis and the Bucks, and this goes back before we were involved, have always worked closely to see what's best for Giannis and what's best for the Bucks. And we'll continue to do so.
We'll continue to do so.
Continue to do so.
But I thought the before we were even involved part is a key one, that as somebody that speaks to a lot of loyalty in that piece, Drew, that is the one part that has changed a little bit, which is unique here.
That is. And there's so many layers to this. Yes, he wants to win here. Now, I remember Favre saying that, and it was like, during his whole, Hamlet thing or whatever, he was like, to be, or should I stay? Should I go?
Mm-hmm.
Should I retire? And he would drop that, well, I'll be here as long as they want me.
As long as they'll have me.
You're a 3-time MVP. What do we want with you? Get out of here.
Yeah.
And it was like, almost seemed like almost false humility. Like, I'll be here as long as they want me.
Buzz said the same thing.
But as it turned out, towards the end, and that's where Giannis is. And he didn't say it, but kind of what he's saying is, if it's best for the organization to trade me the way they are, and that's the best, okay. And he didn't go to that level of like, hey, maybe it's the best for the team in the future to get picks and to move me and go in a new direction. But his thing was, I want to stay here and win and compete for titles. How do you do that? Now that's the conundrum. Because they put so much, put so much on the credit card over the years, trying to give him the winner and give him the resources and make him happy, that now the Bills do. So then where are we?
Well, and do they get to actually execute, Drew, the 2 to 5 year plan that I think they kind of sold him on, with this potentially being not as much of a gap year, somewhat of a competitive year, but a little bit of a unique circumstance this year?
Yeah, that's the conundrum. It's like, okay, and then does he want to come back? He came back too quickly from the calf, so settle down, take the year off. That's what I maintain. That would be my idea.
That might give you a little bit of ability to sit the big fella down, though, and be like, look at what happened last time.
I know. And they won the game last night, and he's probably got the itch to go out there and play again.
All right, now we're only 3.5 games out of the 10 seed.
Yeah, that's how he thinks.
We win 2 games there.
That's what he's thinking.
Detroit just traded Jaden Ivey. We got a great chance there.
And what if the Bucks make a move and add a piece at the deadline and make a creative move that makes them better and makes Giannis want to come back? Like, it's all part of it, man. Well, it's fascinating.
And Drew, and I know we'll get into this on the other side, but he mentions like the fantasy basketball element to it, that you got to commit there at some point. Well, they've committed to just about every big move they could. It almost sounds like somebody who's been, rumored to be kind of behind the scenes pushing for some of those fantasy basketball moves might be trying to say pump the horses a little bit.
Yeah, it's fascinating, all the layers to it. Great job by Jimmy O to get Giannis to talk.
And we'll see if anyone at the Full Line Network cares.
That's the years of their relationship, going way back, and that he's, Jimmy O's got to put in the time and got a little trust, and Giannis clearly wanted to put this into the world.
He was ready to say it.
And it's funny, and that's the thing. Giannis wants to put this in the world, and then it's like a tree falls in the forest, and like until they start talking about it this morning, I don't know what it's going to take, but we'll see what happens to the narrative today. I am now convinced, and it's been the position of the Huddle since we started the Huddle. This is our third show of our third week, that it's going to have, if it's going to happen, it's going to be in the summer. So we still have some more time with Giannis to enjoy.
I'm convinced that a lot of it is it's 2026. So if it doesn't confirm what you believe, people are just going to ignore it.
Let's smell the roses for a while and enjoy Giannis while he's here and enjoy interviews like this. And when's the last time an athlete of this magnitude or anything close to this magnitude caped up for Milwaukee and said stuff like this. I mean, Yelich will say it and talk about how he doesn't want to play anywhere else and stuff like that. But Yelich isn't Giannis. He's not.
Isn't
hot.
Giannis.
He's not in his MVP.
No,
Era.
Aaron did it a lot more once he was in other places.
That's true.
And realized maybe how good he
once
potentially
once he got
it.
to the Jets and saw what a screwed up organization looks like.
Damn.
But
really
no,
my head in pretty good in Green Bay.
But you're right. No one has like Giannis has. That's what always made Giannis so special. And that's what's been the most off-putting part about this whole deal is
and that stuff about his kids and the passports and his father being buried here. I mean, come on,
that's
man.
deep stuff. That's deep stuff.
So,
I would hope that maybe that would allow our guy Duke, who is sitting live outside of Fiserv Forum on WISN that I just saw, potentially covering Giannis's final game with the Bucks. Hey, buddy. Let's get him back inside. He looks very, very cold out there.
Yeah,
let's get him some warmth.
Let's do that. We'll warm you up today. Hang out with us. Get yourself a comfortable chair, cold or hot beverage of your choice. Buckle up. It's Hot Take Hump Day. John Greenberg joins us at 7:30. I want to get the lowdown on Armin's performance on the Jumbotron last night at the Admirals game.
Let's go.
And we're going to discuss Giannis because we finally got something to fan the flames, and it's not like, it's not dreary. It's actually a little bit uplifting. We got more time. The Bucks have more time. They're extending the deadline to improve their wares to where maybe Giannis in October will sign the Supermax extension. It's the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Rolling along on the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920, Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison, iHeartRadio app for your listening pleasure worldwide, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and the X, formerly known as Twitter. Billy and I we want to set on Billy's bet of the day. It's like the over-under on when national outlets will acknowledge Jim Owczarski's story and interview with Giannis, in which Giannis said his dream is to retire a Buck.
I love that because it's mine too.
Now there are still some caveats there. Of course, he wants them to win, and
yes,
but
might not be the best place for it to happen. You kind of threw that one in there a little bit.
He wants to retire as a Milwaukee, but he bleeds green, and that stuff about his kids being born in Milwaukee and his dad being buried here is it hits you in the feels, man.
Absolutely does, and this is kind of what I've been thinking all year long, feeling like the situation with Giannis and the things he said and some of the behavior, the booing, all those things that we think of as irregular, is that he's kind of gone through this emotional processing of not really wanting this to be the reality, but maybe it is. And I think this kind of confirms some of that, at least the reality that in an ideal utopian world, yeah, he'd like to be here and compete to win and win here forever. It's not that he necessarily wants to leave, but also doesn't want to languish. I also think there's something to the aspect, guys, of the group that he's a very emotionally, he's a connected guy emotionally to the people around him, the people that matter, the memories he's made. And you guys mentioned that has all changed kind of since he's come here. And the guys he came up with, his best buddies, Drew and Brooke and Chris and all these guys are not here anymore. And it's got to be a weird feeling for him, kind of processing emotionally that's all changed, that those guys are gone, that he's the old guy now, and how do I handle all that?
Bucks, they were rolling last night. Now the Bulls were reeling from a trade of their own, right? So
yeah, no doubt. A couple of moves.
Yeah, a couple of moves. Bulls were reeling a little bit. Bucks play the Pelicans tonight, and so it's back to back at home. Giannis went through a 30-minute workout on the court yesterday. I saw him doing some basically flat-footed jumpers, and then I saw him doing some heel slides or some
good
shuffles.
sides. Yes, we like that.
Shuffles, which is good for the calf. So he did the workout, and then that was the news until Jim Owczarski cornered him right before tip-off, and that's the story. Go to JS Online, pay for it.
Yes, it's worth it.
We thank Jimmy O for giving us this, a little ray of hope, and again, I think our logic was not flawed, and
no.
If there will be a Giannis trade, nobody wants it, but if it happens, it'll be in the offseason.
Yeah, and I also think, Drew, you can go and pay for it. You subscribe, because then you can get Jim Owczarski's greatest hits, which also features within the last week his conversation with Jay Crowder, kind of clearing up some of his conversations and back and forth online about
some good Big J journalism there.
Some big stuff about Doc. And when you read the article last night, again, yes, there is reaffirmation that Giannis loves Milwaukee. I don't necessarily know that was ever fully questioned. Right now, I have really openly questioned, what do you want? And I'm glad Jim finally was able to ask him the question of it, because there was a feeling and a sense of, what I want is to go win somewhere. I just don't want to be the bad guy telling them, hey, send me to Golden State so I can go play with Steph Curry. And that's clearly what you get here is not the fact.
Yeah.
But it is wide open to, Giannis is doing a lot of, I think, what Bucks fans are doing right now, of looking around saying, how much do I trust this guy, and this guy, who, whether or not they have either been here for 2 minutes, 2 years, or 10 years, how much do I trust that their decisions right now are going to put us in the best position to win a title? I think those are fair questions to have, especially about the head coach, who I think all Bucks fans are wondering exactly what his role would potentially be. So the more we get into what I believe will be a summer of conversation between the two sides and probably the rest of the league, because I think it's fair and understandable that you want to know what your two options are for the Bucks, that, there's going to be a little bit of a side eye saying, you guys got to kind of need to prove to me that with whatever top 12 pick we might get here into the draft, or whatever we'll end up making a trade with that asset, that we're going to be able to do something that's going to be a little bit more sustainable than 1 year, and all of a sudden by middle of May, we're sitting at home.
We'll go back almost 20 years, right? We'll go back in the DeLorean. Like this. What Giannis said. Giannis has been here 13 years. Deep affinity for Milwaukee. CeCe Sabathia was here about 13 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he loved Milwaukee.
Loved it.
And he loved the vibe, and he loved the clubhouse, and he loved the teammates. And he would have preferred to sign right here.
Sure.
But the Yankees gave him about 250 million reasons not to sign in Milwaukee.
Yeah, that helped.
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone
So
made
that was
choice.
the thing, right? So this isn't the case here. Like, it is not money. And one of the things Giannis has said, and one of his big points of pride was that he didn't go chase a championship and join a team, because he's kind of slagged on those guys, right? There's a video of him after they won, and he's talking to D Wade, and he said, "You have always been my favorite, and like, yeah, you did it the right way. You were in the place, and you had, well, now granted, he had some guys join him,
That helped. Yes.
right? The Heatles,
It kind of
back
helped.
in the Heatles
Well, that's
days."
A couple of dollars less.
But
Yeah, the
Giannis,
second
he
title.
did say,
Yeah,
he has
$100,000.
said in the past about, like, it's a point of pride for him that he and Chris stayed and built it and won in a market that's not attractive, that nobody really wants to go to, that players of Giannis's magnitude, you see him on podcasts all the time. What would you think about playing Milwaukee? Kid, no comment.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's where on the road, this is where they go and like catch up on sleep so they can have fun in other cities. And, maybe they have a nice steak at Carnivore, but
Well, Kendrick Perkins liked it.
He said, I love going and playing at the Potawatomi Casino
He
Hotel,
did.
Milwaukee. Makes
It's like
sense.
they have a steak in a casino. I loved it.
Yeah.
And
But
maybe
you're
if
right,
you
Drew.
maybe if
Yeah.
you landed last night, you're Zion Williamson, you go hit that $28 buffet at Canal Street Cafe this morning and go
Come
get
on.
yourself over there.
Let's go, Billy.
A little
What-
carving
go.
station, maybe
Good
a little
point.
prime rib, get himself a
Yeah.
nice nap in there. We know Zion likes to eat.
Good dynamite
So-
drop in there.
yeah, dynamite drop.
That was
in there.
great.
So,
Might see
you
me
know,
there.
but it will play out. I still think Giannis is going to be a buck for a while. And then we're going to have to go through this all in the summer, and people,
It won't
there's
stop.
the packages that people, here's the draft picks, here's this, here's that.
So my thing is, it really quick. It won't stop. So if this annoys you and it makes
But
you
It's going
feel
to ratchet up in the
it's
off
going to ratchet up. So
Yeah.
I think what this has done
And-
more than anything has created a feeling about Giannis from Bucks fans that I don't know is necessarily fair, because when you hear it so much all the time, watching sports news and things, and it's a big topic, the possibility of it, because it's pushed by ESPN, whatever it is, say what you will, it starts to grate on you and it gets annoying. And then people will say things like, "I'm just tired of Giannis's antics." I'm like, well, it's not really Giannis all the time doing this at all. It's just you're hearing it all the time. You're tired of it. So that's the thing that I really resent about this, is how it's made people feel about Giannis that I don't think is totally fair.
Well, get ready for it, Armin,
It's
because
coming.
even more though, into the summer until October 1st, or until this gets cleared up, going into free agency. Now you're going to have Bucks fans have an even more uncomfortable conversation that I really don't think you're going to like, which is, do I really want to give a guy who is somewhat injury riddled over the last 4 to 5 years of his career since they've won the title? It hasn't been all his injuries, but there have been a number of postseasons in which he has been hampered and or unavailable. Do I really want to give 4 years and $275 million to that guy? Or do we start to shift a little bit back, get some more of those assets that we've already offloaded for a number of years and get those back? That is a true mathematical equation that they're trying to figure out inside the Bucks org. And I thought that's what Jimmy O was able to, you read between the lines of the statement last night. Absolutely. Giannis wants to win here. He always, I think, has wanted to win here. Who wants to be the guy that has to go somewhere else for somebody to give them what they want?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to have to go to a different store. You want to walk over to Costco and see the kind of steak that you wanted to buy. You don't want to have to go over to 2 different stores to be able to get exactly what you want for dinner that night. He wants to hoist another Larry O'Brien. Of course, he wants to be the leading man here, because you're always going to get a little bit of a look in the NBA circles. We talked about it with the Hall of Fame tables yesterday and where guys start judging. There's definitely a layer to the look that you get from players when your second title did come with you not as the leading man, or you had to go join an upstart Anthony Edwards to go get it. Of course he wants to win it here, but I wonder if the Bucks are having some tough conversations where they say, do we really believe, Drew, that we'll be able to win it? Not even in 26, 27, 28, 28,
Right.
29. Through the lifetime of that deal, do we believe that we'll have a legitimate chance of winning it?
And that's kind of what Giannis made it sound like. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
877-794-1973. Yesterday, this guy, Matt Moore, I follow from the Action Network.
Mm-hmm.
He's been locked on NBA guys, NBA X account. That's a good follow.
Yeah,
Good
really, really
information.
good stuff.
He quote tweeted a Bucks a poll of Bucks fans, and it said that most fans, assuming Giannis doesn't ask for a trade, should the Bucks trade him before the deadline anyway? 55% no, 34% yes, 10% unsure. Okay, that was, before we heard this stuff. And he said, I absolutely respect how much Bucks fans are like, nope, don't care, want to keep our guy.
Absolutely.
And that's the prevailing sentiment.
Although it's not as unanimous as I thought it would be. Even right now, Patrick and West Bend said, nah, trade him and move on. Until Rivers is gone, nothing matters. And we mentioned it yesterday. There's more people than ever before on that train.
Then there's a reply to this tweet from this guy named Bob, who said, I would rather he retire playing for us and us being mediocre during that span rather than retooling and being great. I know it's insane, but Giannis is one of one.
That's going to be the question. And I think there's a lot of fans that have said that they would be that way.
And then
we'll see if that's true.
And then there's a guy that replied, and said,
will you back that up? Will
That's
you
a
be
great
true?
question. Yeah. I mean, and that's it. It comes down to, would you rather lose with Giannis or win without him if that was your choice? And of course, like, what does winning mean? Like, of course, if it was a championship, anyone would say yes. Like, I'd rather win a championship. But would I rather be a 7th seed, first round knockout with him or without him? I mean, and just
I don't think anybody thinks that's winning.
Yeah, I agree with you. So.
True.
So I don't know anybody's definition of that is winning. So take it to what you make your definition of winning.
Well,
would your definition of winning be what the 01 Bucks did? Win 2 rounds, get to the Eastern Conference Finals, be a really plucky team and one that has a number of guys that you really, really enjoy? Or, would you be okay being and chasing the play-in or the 7 seed with Giannis for the next 4 to 5 years?
Here's a guy next that said, our best player for 15 years was Michael Redd. No disrespect to him. We'll find a way to weekend at Bernie's Giannis's body for 80 years.
I love that.
Well, think about the amount of Antetokounmpo lineage that potentially is going to be suiting up for the Bucks. I am excited for Liam's Milwaukee Bucks.
I can't wait till Liam's draft eligible.
Well, maybe he comes as the ring chaser.
Liam
when he's
plays
36.
at university school or at Dominican or something, and he's going to bypass college and go straight to the NBA. Maybe play Giannis's last year will be with Liam as a teammate.
I got to assume there's going to be a number of institutions in the state that are going to be trying to politic for his high school services if he plays high school basketball.
Yeah, of course, if he's still around. Giannis is still here. Interesting stuff. Thanks to Jim Ozarski. We owe him a beverage of his choice.
Yes.
For giving us that interview and just this something to talk about that's fresh. We are going to talk. It dawned on me the other day, a bad on my part that I didn't ask Billy for his Royal Rumble react. It's 3 days later.
Wasn't that good?
Roman Reigns.
Haven't gotten Billy's react to that yet.
Good.
Maybe that's because it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And it's Hot Take Hump Day. We want your hot takes coming up after 6 o'clock. We're going to have some fun with that.
I've been over the grill cooking these bad boys up.
Pro Bowl games. So we got to ask about that. I want the Pro Bowl to just, I want it to be, sent away. Pro Bowl's tell the kids that we went to live on a farm somewhere.
You should have seen it last night. It was a good time. And I will contend. Just wait till the numbers come out.
It was a great time.
I
missed it all. So I was working.
Because again, everybody will have a lot of opinions for folks that didn't watch. Opinions are cheap. That's why everyone's got one. Even when they don't put in the time.
That's right. Well, I have to keep my streak intact of not watching or caring about the Pro Bowl for 15 years.
Yeah.
Just like that. I'm more interested in this week of what the commission said about the 18 game season and what the Players Association saying about
9 international games.
Yikes. Yes. Plenty to get to. Get your hot takes to us. You're listening to The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. The Wednesday edition of the Huddle, cruising along. Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, Drew, Billy, and Armin chopping it up early before the rooster crows. We're still here chopping it up, talking a lot of Giannis today, but we want you to weigh in 877-794-1973. The hot steaks, we'll start slinging those like hotcakes in about 20 minutes. But right now, I want Billy to convince me that the Pro Bowl games were a marquee event, destination TV, and enjoyable.
No, that's not my job. No, listen, all that it is folks that don't want to enjoy something have chosen the fact that they don't want to, right? Like the fact that Micah Parsons stole the show last night with about 15 viral clips and one of the best memes that you're going to see of him riding by on the scooter with a 1990s style camcorder of the cheerleaders was a phenomenal shot. The amount of visuals that you got of some of the best players in the league was tremendous. And it was a Tuesday night event. Again, the folks that I understand if you want to tell me about how great something used to be, but it's never happening again. So so you can quit asking for it or
so true.
Continually tell me about how great something was
here's the thing.
You'd never be proven wrong.
The Pro Bowl, going back to when it was Hawaii, and it was like the reward, and it was kind of like, oh, send those players over there, and they wanted to go. Like, it wasn't even great then. To me, it wasn't great then.
Oh, no, but listen to the folks of how beautiful it was. And that's when everybody cared.
No, it was not even
we had
great
hard
then.
hits.
It was something there. And it's a made-for-TV event on a Tuesday night when we're in withdrawals and there's not much else going on if you're not an NBA. Like, what's that?
Sorry, I would much rather watch that than watch Quinnipiac in Mount St. Mary's in whatever the 210 palm BS was.
Hey, don't disrespect Ken Palm. What are you, Doug Gottlieb?
Couldn't all due respect. It's a 2-hour television event in a convention center. If you want to be mad about it, that's somebody's own prerogative. But I think last night was the most entertaining it's been in years. And the energy of it and the flag element of it, again, things that people don't like that are here to stay. Flag football is going to be a part of the sports lexicon for the next decades. It goes into the Olympics in 2 years. Yeah. It's going to be an NCAA sport within the next decade. So it's here to stay, and that part of it growing is important, I think.
And will the women's flag league take off?
It will. Absolutely.
It will.
Yeah.
And then people will resist that.
Well, they were the opening act last night, and the women's game was phenomenal as well to watch.
Exactly. People will resist that.
You make a point. Some of us do wish for things to be like they used to be, and they'll never be back. And that's something some of us have to accept, and I'm definitely one of them. I will admit I didn't watch the Pro Bowl. Now, if I didn't have an excuse, would I have watched it? I'm not really sure. But you are right,
you
Billy.
Decided what you wanted to think of it already.
Yeah. That's what I'll agree with you.
You decided you didn't like it already.
People like make their opinions, and the ones making their opinions probably didn't watch much of it last night. And you do, to some extent, choose your happiness when you're watching one of these events. And I'll say the same about watching Quinnipiac when they play in the MAC.
But that's the thing, though. And Billy, you hit on it perfectly. What I want to see more of in sports, what I want to see with the Bucks, is back to the joy.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
The wrestling in the before they took the court, the wrestling moves, and when's the last time you saw the Bucks have that joy and that fun?
Have some fun,
and that's what Giannis is.
Because we've made sports so about everything's so serious and everything. A lot of the shows are sports C-SPAN and everything's like, if you're not championships rings, like we've taken a lot of the joy out of it. Because there was joy in this event, and Micah Parsons had a blast, not even playing. I mean, that's cool. And so let's bring the joy back to sports. Let's make everybody feel what it was like when you were between 8 and 13 years old.
Yeah.
Everything was fun and there was an innocence to it rather than, oh, look at that guy. Look at his contract. Oh no. I remember when Prince Fielder was first, on the scene. I remember the night it was in the ballpark. One of the most electrifying nights in the ballpark was a June night when the Brewers played a nothing game against the Twins, big crowd, and Ricky Weeks and Prince Fielder hit their first major league homers on the same day.
Yeah, and
it was incredible.
Agree. Yeah,
and the next day there were people, well, what's the difference? We're not going to be able to keep them. They're going to be gone. And it was like
people value cynicism now, though. That's the problem.
That cloud now, that's now metastasized
right
to where you start to he's going to be here 6 years. You got 6 years to enjoy this. Like, he's going to be gone, then we won't be able to afford him.
Yeah, but that 7th is the one that is going to be
we won't
great.
be able to afford him. So bring back the joy in sports. I'm all about that. And if this event, which I didn't really watch, I saw some highlights, but Billy, if it brought joy, that's great. If the players were enjoying, because There was a time, and
Now,
I went
that's
to
the
the
thing,
first
Drew.
one. I went to the first one in Vegas, and it didn't seem like the players just seemed like they were there, checking a box.
What are we
or
doing?
Obligation.
Yes. What are we doing here?
Yeah. And so if there's joy in it, and if there's buy-in, more power to, because again, the ratings for the draft are huge, and that's
Huge.
a guy. It's the reading of names. So it's going to get ratings. Is that a measure of success? Did it bring joy to people who watch it and to people who are participated in it?
Drew, you hit it on the head. You guys went for the Pro Bowl with the pros, right? Vegas with the pros a few years ago, and those pros looked like Joes. They did not seem like they were having fun.
They weren't having fun.
Last night, you could see every play. Both sidelines were erupting, having fun.
Yeah.
So like that joy, that energy was good. Now actually get a couple more fans in there, not friends and family of the NFL. It might be even more fun as it continues to.
And another like fan event that used to be joy and people lament because it used to be better. The dunk contest and the NBA, like the All-Star Saturday.
Yeah.
It's like there's been times when it's like, oh, even it seems forced.
This was better than watching Matt McClung dunk. I'll tell you that much. Last night watching Joe Burrow run in a touchdown, better than Matt McClung dunking.
I love it. I love it. All right, we're off and running. The Wednesday edition, Hot Take Hump Day. Let's get them. It's the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. It's a Wednesday in the good land. Are you ready to dominate? Cut and crack, as they say. We are. Drew, Billy, and Armin bringing it to you from headquarters. Reach out to us, 877-794-1973, the NicoletLaw.com talking text line, which we want to be flowing with hot takes.
It's ready to roll. It's ready to rumble. And so is the YouTube page, which already has fired up one out of the gates. Our friend John, first up on the hot takes. James Harden, the most overrated player in NBA history. Oh, James Harden's going to be a part of today's program. Don't get it twisted. We got some quotes in a potentially fully baked statement from James Harden that we get with our friends from Happy Place Hub coming up.
I'm not surprised that he was traded because there was churn there. I'm surprised he went to Cleveland. I thought he would take his talents to Magic City for some lemon pepper wings in Atlanta. I did see
there was a report that he was eyeing Atlanta.
I wonder why.
For every reason other than basketball.
I wonder why.
He doesn't like the culture of Cleveland. Are you kidding me? He doesn't want to go to the Rock.
Well, it's not that you don't like one culture, but you really love the lemon pepper wings at Magic City.
Yeah.
Fernando Mendoza spoke highly of him.
Yeah, he can't get enough of them. I mean, I think no one's looked forward to off days more than James Harden. Remember, I mean, this was the guy that wanted to be able to spend off days in Vegas and things like that.
Boy, I mean, who doesn't though?
Listen, I'm with you on that, but I can't really say you're wrong about that. But obviously, that's matter more to him sometimes than the basketball. I don't know that that's a hot take, although I would really have to sift through my my historical basketball figures to see who the most overrated player is in NBA history. I like that's one that's like up my alley that I would love to do like a 5-hour deep dive on.
I'm excited for that to happen on the Armin Tells All podcast.
One of these days
on Armin Sorry and Filtered. That's going to be a good one.
It'll be on Daunted. Not Undaunted, Daunted.
Daunted.
Yeah.
Daunted.
So that'll be on there, but he's got to be in the mix. I mean, but we've talked about Harden, how good his counting stats are. He's top 10 scorer in NBA history, but it seems wherever he goes, team disappointment, and team results follow. So
true. That was the story that took the NBA attention away from Giannis for just a little bit. That and the Jazz trade.
Oh yeah, the Jazz trade, the
teardown,
Bulls with a couple, and then the Jim Owczarski story will just be like the big fire blanket, Drew, that you never remember and you don't think about. But it definitely saves the house.
Yep, definitely. Jim Owczarski's story is terrific. Extended interview with Giannis where he said his dream is to retire a buck and win championships here in Milwaukee. Now, will that happen? Stay tuned. But I don't think he's going to be traded at 2:00 tomorrow on the deadline. But so Hot Take Hump Day is the order of business right now. 877-794-1973. Hot takes your as Zabe would say, hot nails of truth. Whatever your truth is, it can be about snack foods, it can be about movies, it can be about music, it can be about sports. We used to have this thing where we said no predictions, right? But now
you fire in
your
a spoiler.
hot take is your hot take.
Yeah,
whatever you got. Yeah.
I saw one from our friend Luke Zampi, esteemed meteorologist, who had Mr. Pibb better than Dr. Pepper. That's a hot take, man. I do love myself a little Pibb.
That's a terrible.
Is that in the RC Cola family? Because we know Armin's affinity for RC Cola.
I was going to say,
I don't know who owns that brand now. That's a great question. It kind of disappeared for a while. It was Pibb Extra, if you remember.
Pibb, no, they brought it back,
was that with like juiced caffeine? The Pibb Extra?
I honestly don't know, but they brought it back as Mr. Pibb because I did see it at the end of the aisle at the grocery store, so I picked up a bottle. This was like 2 months ago. And it was mostly what I remember.
$1.20 instead of $1.60.
Yeah. It was mostly what I remember it, which was the other Dr. Pepper.
Mr. Pibb is made by Coca-Cola. Originally launched the spicy cherry soda in '72 to compete with Dr. Pepper.
Well, they want an alternative to Dr. Pepper because they're getting hit in that market a little bit. Like they've redominated Pepsi, but now Pibb is like Dr. Pepper's like overtaking Pepsi, I think, with the dark sodas. So this is a big thing in the cola wars.
Well, they got the 23 flavors. It's the good stuff.
Yeah, and then they add the blackberry Dr. Pepper. So I'm like, you didn't have that in the original 23? That's the 24th flavor?
Yeah, this would be an example of a hot take.
This is. Yeah.
Diet Dr. Pepper is the superior diet soda in the entire diet soda universe. Now, I'm partial. I don't consume it that often, but in terms of taste, it's the closest taste to the original leaded version, although I do like Coke Zero too. I'm a Diet Dew guy.
That's my question.
That's what I like, but I will concede that Diet Dr. Pepper is amazing. I just don't buy it and consume it that often.
As not as big of a soda guy as frankly I wish I was. Right? It is the one deal that I wish I drank.
You don't.
Correct. Right. I'm glad I don't drink
Generation.
more soda, but it's so good when I do that I wish I just bit the bullet and drank it all the time.
You spoke all facts
My-
there.
Is that fair? Is
Yes.
that fair
My
enough?
daughter is
Yes.
a little bit younger, like the class, like a little behind
And
you
they don't
guys.
drink
Yeah.
soda.
And she doesn't drink it at all. She's probably had 5 in her life.
Oh yeah, either I can't drink sparkling water. I'm not a big fan of
Oh,
it.
well,
Like
well,
I'll
it's
drink sparkling
it's
water.
okay. I definitely I'm coffee and water is basically where it
But
ends
that's
up coming
good.
to.
That's
like that.
healthy. I mean, it's not a
My,
bad thing.
Maybe the
So-
only healthy thing that I have
well, you
in
know
my
what?
entire lexicon.
My buddy Steve Pallett keeps it simple. The only he drinks 3 things: coffee, water, and bourbon.
And bourbon, yes.
And it's all
That's
healthy.
all he drinks.
All
It's
he
all
drinks.
natural.
That's all he drinks.
All come from plants.
He's a
I mean,
keto guy too, so bourbon is kind of like keto.
Sure, it is.
Steve is one of one. I love
He's
that.
he's a beauty.
Oh, just one of the best. And you want to talk about bourbon? He's definitely got some. He's definitely
By the
got
way,
some for
speaking
you.
of bourbon, I was at an event yesterday afternoon, and I ran into our friends from Central Standard Craft Distillery.
Ooh,
And they got all these developments going on. They have their craft house and kitchen is going to open at the airport, Concourse C, Mitchell International Airport, in a couple of weeks.
Let's go.
in the Southwest terminal.
More
And they got a
action
new
in the Southwest
facility.
terminal.
Their new production facility on the campus where Harley and Miller are in that area, that is going to open like later in the summer. Have a tasting room in their big production facility. But they also just got named like one of the top 100 bourbons in the country by our Fred Vinnick, the bourbon god. And the cabin strength bourbon that they had was actually it was part of the line. It was from the barrel of that the
Drew KB one, right.
bourbon was a
That's
top
Pretty
right.
awesome. Let's go.
Right.
The legacy
Not
lives.
finished.
The legacy lives on.
And Fred Vinnick's a buddy of Zabe, so it's all like full circle. I was chuckling as this was unfolding yesterday. So
That is a
shout
beautiful
out to our
development.
buddies.
for them.
They've been winning awards and stuff. So
Well, and I'm glad that somebody that I know is I don't know soda aficionado, but listen, when I see Drew Olson, generally there is a 12-ounce can. And you're right, a Diet Dew is probably the poison, but I'm with you on Diet Dr. Pepper. If that's going to be available, it is superior to everything else. Diet Dew, while okay, doesn't hit like a regular Dew does.
Not at all.
I mean, you drink that full leaded Dew, and you know
I
that
can't
you're
drink-
having some fun.
I can't drink one
I
diet
can't
soda.
drink. A regular Dew.
Oh,
It's
man,
it's
I'm the opposite.
Too leaded for me. It's like too much. I'm so
guess-
used to the other
I
side.
grew up drinking Surge and Jolt Cola, and I guess
Yeah.
in the 90s, but the diet soda, I don't know how you guys can drink that fake sugar, man.
Look
man,
at you.
That's nasty stuff. If you're gonna give it to me, just give me the.
I need my
unhealthy stuff.
sucralose, man.
Yeah.
Don't you
Sucralose
hammer my sucralose?
It's terrible. Oh,
All right,
it's
well, and
disgusting.
now
Tastes
in
like
this shift, I
Robitussin.
got to have a Celsius to get going in the morning too, because that's like it's a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
that's the
no doubt.
caffeine equivalent. So I see what you guys get because I've never had coffee. I don't,
The Celsius is a solid one too, and I went through a run where I was drinking far too many of them because they were far too good.
I try to cap it at one a day.
Yes,
Yeah.
and now as much coffee as ultimately will funnel through my veins over a 12-hour day that ultimately turns into a
Coffee's for
18-hour
closers.
day. I cranked up a little espresso last night to try to stay up a little bit for the Pro Bowl games.
I like that.
Didn't work. I was asleep by the second quarter. So it then proves that you can just outkick your coverage. And at some point, you can just now
Diminishing
dilute and
returns.
diminish all of the effects that the caffeine will fire in for
That's
you.
right. We want your hot takes. 877-794-1973. They can be about anything. And our discussion about the Pro Bowl games, Marcus and Iowa. Billy, quit leaning into the Pro Bowl. As with tradition, the day after the Pro Bowl is Pro Bowl bashing day. Just let us poop on the Pro Bowl.
No, you can listen, Marcus. You can go and have your fun. Like
Dunk on
You
it.
can
but-
go poop,
yeah.
Marcus.
But that's Micah Parsons is in that class of like Barkley, where you could have a 24-hour camera following him around.
Oh,
I'd watch that,
1,000%.
And he's just tooling around on his scooter and having fun and giving interviews and videotaping cheerleaders. It's like, okay.
There were so many good viral meme moments last night from the Pro Bowl that I appreciate it for that spot in and of itself. I also, though, like now, Drew, that it's before the Super Bowl because it's not the last taste of football that you try to glam onto. And I think that's where the folks that still dream and wistfully think of the days when, a tackle football game is where a lot of this ended. When Jeff Saturday went over for a hallmark moment to take the snap and hand it over to Peyton Manning. But, that was the last game of football. So everybody knew we're going to have to watch every bit of this and hope that you can pull and enjoy every bit of it. Now it's like a bit of the appetizer tray. And last night, to me, it felt like the pigs in a blanket, which are generally my favorite appetizer. Like that comes out, I'm gonna grab 4 onto my plate.
That's not a hot take. That's
maybe
a great take.
Maybe make enough room for everything else.
Yeah.
So I like that it's on Super Bowl week to kind of wet the palate for Sunday.
It was always flawed because what other sport would have their all-star game like 2 weeks after the season when some guys haven't played in 2 months? Come on.
No
It
chance.
doesn't seem like it was flawed from the get-go, but it was about going to Hawaii, and for us in the dead of winter to watch something happen in Hawaii, and they have the lays on and the Hawaiian shirt, coaching staffs with the Hawaiian shirts. And then the lore is that the players would go, and it was like their vacation. You could take your families, and the would go, and Peyton Manning would hold court at the pool.
Yes.
And if you're a first-time Pro Bowler, you'd sit and get to hang, and it was like that. It was like you were welcome to a club.
You were joined
all-star, and you were joined in, and the players look forward to that. And then it started to just get bastardized, and then they tried to move it around, and it's like, what, Hawaii got too expensive, or the timing wasn't right for TV, or whatever it was. What happened was the NFL did what the NFL always does. They tried to monetize it and suck as much
try to make too
cash
much money on it
out of it as they could, and they wrangled. What was good about it was the relaxed nature and just the stories that came out of it. And maybe this is all like fuzzy NFL films memories and stuff, but it was the spectacle. It was never a really important game, but you watched it because it was on. And to your point, Billy, it was after the season, and it was like, hey, we got one last thing of football
last
before
chance
the draft.
To see football,
football. Yeah. And it was it had its charms then, and then they kind of they squeezed the life out of that, and they had to go in a different direction.
It wasn't good cold pizza anymore, right?
Nope.
Like before, it was the last slice of pizza that you had, and you're like, all right, I'm going to remember this football season with this last little game. Last night, I enjoyed the parts that you talked about, which was clearly dudes having fun. Because God forbid they are grown men playing flag football. Like it's not meant to be, like you said, NFL C-SPAN. Like this isn't meant to be judging and making grand assumptions. It's a bunch of grown men playing flag football. It's supposed to be fun. I would like it to be in Hawaii, though, because I said it to my wife last night. The only thing that makes this better is how much fun everyone's having at the end of a 3-day bender, right? Like at the end of or in the middle of a week-long family vacation.
Is Vegas the new Hawaii? Just have it in Vegas every year and let people go to see that.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
and then for Vegas, probably love that because you get people making investments on the big game.
They would be there to be able to bet
anyway,
and play.
Like this big week.
I also think, though, you need to, because what you said was so true. And I've heard McAfee talk about this a lot, where like his first time going to the Pro Bowl was, I believe, in Hawaii. And he's like, it was the greatest thing ever. We had this huge resort. We're hanging out. All the best players are playing, and you're drinking with guys, and you're meeting players around. Then they go to Orlando, and he's like, it was a 4-day card show where you walk down into the lobby, and there were 150 people waiting to try to get autographs and roll through. And that made it less enjoyable for the players to the point where it was, I don't want to go and deal with this.
I'm not going.
Last night, I think you saw some guys be like, oh, that actually looked more fun. Maybe I will go.
Now it's like, a free trip to Super Bowl week and the parties and the action. I'm in. Okay, cool.
I was going to go on Wednesday on Do Radio Row and get a check anyway. I might as well be there for the first couple of days.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, here's a hot take for you. Speaking of Radio Row, we were there last year. So I was spinning through some of my memories, getting all wistful and verklempt of the great times we had.
Verklempt?
Verklempt. Is that the right term?
Yes, verklempt.
Yes. All right.
That's Mike Myers,
We already talked about how, like, the experience seemed so much better last year than this year because, like, the long ride, the sand, where they're going to and this and that. And how, it's not as enjoyable as New Orleans. But my other hot take was you are not seeing the paid advertisement interviews as much as you used to.
No.
Why is that?
Gone away.
I thought like the whole Gillette or Old Spice or like that was such a part of Super Bowl Radio Row week. And the only one we saw, Billy, was those guys walking around in the Bounty leather jackets.
Mm-hmm.
The Bounty
where we kept going and getting the wings.
The free wings every day. Right.
The Wingstop wings.
Why did that end?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right, Armin. Those used to be like, guys would take a free trip to the Super Bowl and you'd get the interview on Radio Row. And I did 2 Radio Rows before we went last year. So I've been to 3. And it's like, all right, you can have Joe Montana, but it's for California pistachios. And part of the interview, you get him for 5 minutes and you have to spend a minute talking about pistachios.
Yeah, the old Matt Harveyism. I'm just here. I'm just here talking about the product.
Yeah, you're right. Those have gone away. Brands they can do their own stuff on social. They just didn't want to pay the guys. And
you can probably do better advertising on social, like you mentioned. I think Josh Jacobs, though, now that you mention it, last year
he had the USAA.
He had the USAA thing.
That's
he was
right.
with Bounty the next couple of days. So there were some, but they are much more reserved.
Not as many. Bill Romanowski we had on a bunch of times.
I was gonna
always
say
the same guys
Romanowski's
making the
always there,
circuit, like old, retired, washed up guys that were just taking the check. Now they show up at Radio Row just to pop on to whatever ESPN show or McAfee or Kay Adams. And I think they probably get paid for that.
And then
and then they dip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw a couple of guys doing that on the McAfee show. They'll be there starting up today. But Armin, you're spot on. Last year's, and I was talking to my friend Siv down in New Orleans, like that New Orleans needs to be in the 5 to 6 city rotation
Easily
to have the Super Bowl every single year.
Totally.
Vegas, I think, should be in there as well. It is a cluster. It is not great for the commute. Miami needs to be in there, right? Like the stadium, I think the stadium's beautiful. The sites are always amazing and everybody likes going to Miami. Throw Arizona in there because I think the convenience of Glendale is really, really clean, right? You can have the convention center right there. It's a beautiful spot. And then, maybe you throw in one of the Texas stadiums, right? Maybe Houston, maybe Dallas, maybe Los Angeles. But there's a subset, just a grouping there of the cities to always have it. And New Orleans, Miami, Vegas need to be in a very, very tight rotation.
Totally agreed. Hot take, hump day. Get us your hot takes. Here's one for you. Given our proximity and given what's happened and the churn of the period from the Packers' exit from the playoffs and the 5-game losing streak, we are not in Wisconsin, and I don't think people even nationally are appreciating enough the novelty and significance and just overall cool thing of Mike LaFleur getting the Arizona job.
Oh.
And Mike and Matt, 2 kids growing up playing Madden and fighting each other, and their dad's a coach at Central Michigan.
Yeah,
and
CCIW go crazy.
You got a guy walking on
Mm-hmm.
in Michigan. You got the younger brother playing at Elmhurst. CCIW represents.
Better believe it. Come on now.
The fact that they're both NFL head coaches now is really cool. And why aren't we appreciating that more? It's a cool story.
It's a good
one. The
one.
Harbaugh brothers was always a cool story. It's a cool story.
Because Peter Schrager hasn't done a podcast about it yet. I think maybe that's one of the reasons why it hasn't gotten the attention. Because Drew, like yesterday, that soundbite that Matt LaFleur had of when somebody asked, what would you say to me if 20 years ago I would have said you'd be coaching the Packers and your brother would be coaching the Cardinals? I'd say you're full up.
Bleep.
Yep. Like that soundbite, if it was Jim or John, that probably would have let off on a lot of these different shows here today. It isn't as discussed as it definitely should be.
I think it would have. I think if Matt LaFleur had won a Super Bowl already, it would have been a bigger deal because once you're a Super Bowl winning coach and it's like, okay, his brother gets a job, can this be the next, number one family of football? Maybe there's part of that in there too, but I agree with you. It should get a bigger.
Was Harbaugh different because obviously he was a player?
I think the name may. I don't know. You can tell me, Drew. I think maybe the name was bigger and
absolutely.
But
for
then both of them,
it's very similar though because their dad was a coach, right? It's a legendary,
100%.
and it's in the blood.
That's true.
That's
true.
They've had the pinnacle of that was them facing off in the Super Bowl, right? So maybe someday Matt and Michael face off in the Super Bowl. Who knows? But his Q rating is down now because of the way the season ended, and a lot of folks wanted him out, and that's part of it. But just take a moment, step back, take the view from 10,000 feet, and just appreciate. That's really cool.
It really is. And locally, I think his Q rating's down a little bit. I do think nationally, though, it's still quite high, right? I do think nationally, he's probably looked at in a much greener eyes than right now. And
that's the part that it's easy to go to your social or go on your podcast, say LaFleur sucks. He's never going to get us over the hump. He should be gone. And then how do you square that with if he was not Packers property, like a whole bunch of other teams would be lined up. Like how do you if he's such a stiff, but everybody would want him? How do you square that circle?
I was going to say, how does that give and take equal out? I've struggled with it because I think we're seeing a lot of different people in Pittsburgh as well. They're like, well, I was told for years Mike Tomlin would have a job right away if you want. I don't know that he wanted one. I think the same thing that people that have been saying in Buffalo. Well, I was here and Sean McDermott was going to have a job right away. I don't think he wanted one.
His hat was in the ring.
I think you can pick and choose when you're some of those guys and those caliber of dudes. And this year in particular in the coaching cycle, Mike LaFleur got the job that it seemed like nobody wanted to take. However, go out there and win 2 playoff games. and nobody will ever be questioning the decision.
Exactly.
You'll be
All
a
right.
made man that way.
Hot take, hump day before the break. Do you want to touch this one? Drew from Dobler, number 17, should be retired for Jim Gantner. Billy, Drew, any takes on that one?
That's a good one.
Well, we've
That's a
talked
good
about
one.
that.
Okay.
The fact that they haven't done
Dobbs.
it already, and if they have their standard of kind of like Hall of Fame, now the interesting thing would be Braun, because Braun's not a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Right now, their standard is kind of
A lot of people
It's
have
kinda
opinions
high.
on the retired numbers and which one should
Yeah,
or shouldn't be for the
because,
Brewers.
but the thing is with Gant, like, okay, then that it's the Hall of Fame debate. Like then Cecil Cooper should have his number retired.
Yep.
Or
We can go down the
but then they
line.
already gave that to Ben Sheets. It's already been worn.
Yeah.
17 has never been issued.
that's
so in a
that's
way-
my hot take. It's
in a way,
retired.
it's a tacit. It's
It's
not
with-
up on it's not up on the dais, but it's never been issued.
Yeah, Reese Hoskins wanted it and then chose not to do it, I
Yeah,
think.
I think
I
he
have a
was talked out
baseball
of it.
card with him in a 17 Brewers
And
jersey.
I love Jimmy Gantner, but that was my thing. Is like, well, then look at the other guys on that. Look at Cecil Cooper, and Gantner was part of the trio, I know, and the other two guys are up there.
He stayed with them
But they're
forever.
also in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
They should find something to honor Jim in the stadium potentially,
which
right? I mean, more than just a parking lot potentially.
Gantner's Garden for a while. didn't
He
they, or
has some
something?
stuff like that, and there's obviously Walk of Fame, Wall of Honor, and all those
Yeah.
things.
No doubt.
And I think I
Love
don't know
him.
if it's still there, but in the
And I
hot
love
corner
Jimmy.
by the store, they had his jersey up for
Now,
like.
does he still come around and putz around during batting practice?
Very occasionally, not as much as he used to.
When I went
He
to
hit
the
kick rounders and stuff.
Oh my
He
God.
shows
The
up.
Don August Jim Gantner baseball camp when I was a kid out in the Menominee Falls area.
Yep. Don August lives in the Falls.
And Jimmy Gantner going, hey, look at this guy. Look at this big shooter. Big shooter over here. I'm going to start calling you big shooter.
Oh,
Holy
love
cow.
that.
if anybody's
Holy cow. Big shooter. Look at this guy.
Hey, how we looking?
It's just awesome. One of the absolute one of one dudes.
He is an absolute.
Such a
All right.
jam.
Get us your hot takes. We are thirsty for them on
Shooter.
this show. John Greenberg joins us an hour from right now. Admirals lost one to the Griffins last night from Grand Rapids, and we will talk to El Jefe himself at 7:30. We also have tickets for you. We announced the Tim McGraw show yesterday. We got another pair of tickets to give away. That's coming up after 7 o'clock as well. It's the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. The Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison. Oh, baby, it's Hot Take Hump Day. Get them to us, 877-794-1973.
And the face for radio conversation fired up during the break. I love that. Listen, we got some new camera angles that we're rocking on the YouTube stream. You should definitely go and check them out. And hot take from our friend Joe on YouTube.
This is a good one.
Oh my goodness. I see this line of mugs. It's like the 10 most wanted on the wall at the post office. You see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just let's peel back the curtain here a little bit. Hot take. This might be a hot take for some.
Oh,
Hunter and I, collaborated yesterday, and we said, let's try the vertical video.
oh, so you're going to take some credit for
Actually, it was no. You know what? I'm going to be totally transparent. It was first Hunter's idea.
this? Correct.
And we talked about it. So it was Hunter's idea. And he said, I think this is a good idea. Everything's vertical now. The camera shot is a little clearer and better.
I actually think it's phenomenal. Yeah,
It's
it looks
just
good.
super close up. And so some people have had to adjust to that reality in the morning. I'm sure I'm going to hear from Laura when she wakes up, wow.
Well, you could probably tilt yours down a tick. You could bring yours down a little bit. I appreciate it. I appreciate it because it looks right here, and you can see even better 2025 state champion football Arrowhead Warhawks hat that I got rocking here today. But hot take, it ends up working out pretty well. I think Hunter's going to have some phenomenal videos for us. And let's also be honest, as the hot takes start flowing in, John, I don't even know that that's a hot take. I think that's just the correct statement. Oreos better than Chips Ahoy. Drew, on a hot take hump day, we're going to have to get a little hotter than just straight up facts on
pretty
the YouTube
basic
thing.
yeah.
I'm right there with you, John.
That's pretty basic.
However, the hot part of that take would be the one that my wife has, where she thinks the thin Oreos
that's the worst take ever.
as opposed to the double stuff.
better than double stuff.
Double stuff, most stuff, more stuff. You have a multiple types of stuff.
I completely honest with you. I've never been so disappointed. Even the chocolate stuff, no pause. There's some pretty dynamic Oreos that they're pumping out. And if you're grabbing the thins,
yes,
I got questions.
I'm not saying that the chocolate cookie part of the Oreo is not good. That's a nice part of the cookie. That's what makes it an Oreo. But you can't tell me you're in a situation where you're sitting there saying less cream is better on the Oreo. I'm sorry. I can't agree with that.
Still unscrew them and eat the cream out first, Armin, or what?
Absolutely. Separate, lick the cream, then eat both. And then you have your glass of milk, whatever.
There's drop for social.
You can do all your pause,
into it.
all you want, whatever. You can do all your pause.
I will. Here's the thing, though. The proper way to eat an Oreo. Some people say, you dunk in the milk. The best time to eat Oreos, by the way, is right before you go to the hygienist for your teeth cleaning. Eat a sleeve.
Oh yes,
100%. Walk in rocking
100%.
that. That's the best.
Oh God, John, I apologize. He was responding to Mike Witt, who came in here with hot take Chips Ahoy are better than Oreos.
That's
Mike,
a hot take.
you're just wrong.
That's wiped.
Morty, what do you have to open this box for? There's already a box of cookies open.
I wanted a Chip Ahoy.
I don't like all these open boxes.
Look, I got a few good years left. If I want a Chip Ahoy, I'm having it.
I couldn't help myself.
Hot take Chip Ahoy's and Oreos enhanced by dipping in a little scoop of peanut butter.
Oh, the peanut butter is absolutely
Peanut butter
better.
Oreos next level.
Yeah.
Now, no one's
After
talking
420,
about,
a peanut butter Oreo.
Oh,
Hard to beat.
No one's talking about EL fudge.
True
Those little
Olsen,
Keebler
goodness
elves are
gracious.
falling
Yes,
off,
man.
let me tell
wow,
you.
you know how to be fat. I am proud. that is a beautiful one that I'm going to try out later.
Hot take, and it's a little bit like the diet soda conversation with Dr. Pepper being the best, diet soda there is taste-wise. And I don't imbibe that often, but when I do, I'm like, this is really good. It's a good formula. Here's a hot take for you. As great as the advances have been in the chip industry with the kettle cooked and everything and all the different kinds of chips, jalapeno chips, the straight up Blue Blazer Ruffles are still the
wavy,
still the GOAT.
Still
You
the
know
best
why?
wavy one, yeah.
Because they hold up when you dip. They don't break apart.
They do.
They
And
don't
it's
do
just,
this.
even if you don't have dip, it's just a
right.
superior texture flavor profile to me. And I do like the other ones. Potato chips are my weakness, man.
For sure.
I'm more the salty than the sweet. If I'm, after 420,
You're grabbing the bag. Yes.
when the gummy hits, go get me something salty.
Hey, now you want to talk about something that has been the development in the chip industry is the fact that we have just gotten completely bitch slapped out of normal 99-cent bags. Now you have everything is being sold in the jumbo biggest, or maybe I'm just shopping at Costco too much. but you're buying some of the biggest bags of chips of all time,
Yes.
whether it is the kettle chips, whether it's the ones made with avocado oil, so you can tell yourself that it's a little bit healthier.
High smoke point.
I've absolutely done. Yeah, I'm right there with you. And this is a big week for chips. The chips have a big week coming up this
Huge
week.
snack food week.
Whether
Big
it's buffalo chicken dip, which is being pushed for heavily on one side of the household. I'm thinking trying out something my man Heath Riles was firing up, a little spicy queso dip that you're able to find. This is a big dip week.
What's the dip Packers halftime at Lambeau in the press box? What is that dip?
Luddy.
I need a vat of that for Super Bowl.
I was going to
Sunday.
say, I think Luddy gets the calendar sent to him, and he has the menu, so he knows exactly which one is
What
coming
is
up.
that? kinda guy.
They got a BLT dip.
That's the.
Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah,
That one's pretty wicked. That is
Pretty
next level.
Solid. Most of their dips are pretty good up there.
Well, the halftime food, Drew, is something that we definitely get spoiled. A little halftime brat.
Yeah, halftime brat.
Halftime brat, little dip. We usually get understand it. We figure out what's on the table before we have to walk over there because Luddy's already hit it up. Like he
That's true.
knows exactly when that food gets out. My man is ready.
My man is a young dude working in radio. He understands the assignment. He got the DNA in him. He's got that dog in him when it comes to free food.
No
Got
doubt
that
about
dog
it.
in
Got
him.
that press box dog.
Matt, Hot Take Hump Day again, 877-794-1973, NicoleLaw.com talking text line. Headline on the ESPN.com story, NFLPA's interim boss, players, quote, have no appetite for an 18th game. My hot take, you better develop one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better start getting
It is
hungry.
as inevitable as the sun rising in the east and the tide rolling in and out. They're going to play an 18th game, so get what you can in return.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You want to talk about happy place time, getting that gummy in there and getting the munchies rolling. They better find some because there will be a feast. There will be an 18th game. I'll be fascinated to see how quickly it happens, though, Drew. But you're right. What can you get back in return? And that's where you said it perfectly there in the start. Because who is this? The acting boss for the NFL Players Association.
Yeah.
We mentioned it with MLB yesterday, and a lot of people are forecasting a bloody CBA negotiation between the baseball owners and the Players Association. Well, the owners got to figure out their own stuff in baseball. The players' unions got to figure out their own stuff in the NFL if they're going to be able to maximize it because it's happening.
The infighting among the owners and MLB is like that's the one you'd like to have a camera. You talk about your Royal Rumble.
Oh my God,
man! The small markets, if they can band together, it's like the 1,000 little Chihuahuas against the giant Great Dane.
Yes.
Like, what are you gonna do?
Like 100 dudes versus the gorilla.
Yeah.
We haven't had that discussion. It's the same idea though.
Same idea.
Hot take,
Small
we're losing.
markets. Yeah.
No, that's a hot take.
I've
changed my mind
I've
on
thought
that.
about it, and I've done a lot of different.
Me too.
I've done a lot of
YouTube.
research. You're right. I've seen a lot of TikToks because it's been in my algorithm. You bring that up, and then instantly, I don't know if they're AI videos, but I see a lot of these gorillas. Armin, no shot.
Well, I was
we
saying
got to
that
have only Brock
same
Lesnar in
thing.
there.
I was
Otherwise,
saying
it's going to
that
be dangerous.
the same thing that we might have a shot, but I don't think we have a shot.
I was hoping, man. I was hoping.
Maggie in Georgia. Everything is better with a little Trader Joe's cookie butter. Yum. Oh, I agree with Billy's wife again. Oreo thins are awesome.
Maggie.
Trader Joe's.
What?
They got that same brand at Aldi's. They might. It's the same company.
They might. Yeah, it's a lot of the same
Mm.
stuff.
I don't know. Vanilla. That's like white chocolate. It's just something about it. It's not there
It's
for
just
me.
not the same.
Yeah,
thing.
it's not
You're
there
not a
for
white
me.
chocolate fan?
Yeah, it's okay. Like I'll eat it, but I definitely don't choose it. It's something about it. It's just
Jason Williams. White
All right.
chocolate.
How do you feel about red velvet?
it's nothing.
You gotta tell me about one of the strangest inventions in all of
Well,
food.
it's just food dye. Red
It
velvet
is.
is just food dye.
It's a chocolate, but it's a psychological.
It's not
Yeah.
even. Oh yeah. It's the lake in front of the tee off right there. Like it doesn't really matter 40 yards ahead of you when you're golfing, but it exists in your mind. Red velvet exists in your mind. It's totally Instagram driven. It's totally for visuals. Red velvet's a scam because all it is food dye. Now it's cool looking. I'll admit that if you want to have like a cool looking cake where there's a visual.
Oh,
but
yeah.
But that's what it is now. Why do we do that? We do it for social media and Instagram. We don't do it for the actual
chocolate
culinary
cake.
arts.
with coloring that's called red velvet.
No, we did not get red velvet cake for the wedding. Now this is. I just had someone congratulate me my engagement 4.5 years later. Thank you. I don't think you're a real
Congratulations.
person on Twitter, but speaking of that, red velvet's a scam. All it is food dye. So there you go. That's
Love
all.
that.
I'm so glad
Love
I put
these
that
hot
quarter in that
takes.
jukebox.
I know, it's so good.
Oh, it's just not. It's just.
Oh my goodness. Hey, if you're having any orthopedic issues or if you got a sports injury or there's a sports injury in your family, I urge you to check out our friends at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Orthowisconsin.com is the website. Billy knows my pal Dr. Matthew Bong very
Better
well.
believe it. Yes,
He
sir.
gave me my new hip, my new lease on life. I stopped limping after being a dumbass for a year and a half and limping around trying to push through it.
Just trying
I
to be
got my
proud.
hip replaced, got the x-ray. He's like, you need a hip replacement. Okay, let's do it. What an experience. OrthoWisconsin.com. The clinics are awesome. You folks in Madison, it's worth the travel. Johnson Creek, they're opening a clinic there. You need to go check these people out at OrthoWisconsin.com. If your child gets hurt, there's a lot of ACL tears in like soccer and volleyball. It's happening all over the place.
A lot of ACLs and a lot of labrums, Drew.
A lot of labrums too. You're right.
Yes.
So anything that you have that's chronic or a sports injury, these are the experts, world-class care right here at home, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. We'll continue Hot Take Hump Day. John Greenberg joins us at 7:30. We've got tickets to give away to Tim McGraw as well. You can win them right here with us. We gave away our first pair yesterday. That show's coming up August 22nd, Alpine Valley Music Theater in East Troy. Winchester 49, Timothy Wayne on the bill as well. Stay tuned for your chance to win. That'll happen after 7 o'clock. Hot Take Hump Day continues. It's the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armin bringing it to you. Your favorite morning show, up before the Roosters, having some fun. Out by 8, making way for Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd, and them to talk Super Bowl. They had Frank Caliendo drop by, Wisconsin's own.
It was so funny. And I'll tell you this, their set, Dan's set out at Super Bowl, just beyond the McCovey Cove out in San Francisco, you see the ballpark in the background. I think my favorite part is, like you said, up before the Roosters grow. Well, I go out here and enjoy the sunrise every morning.
It's like
right?
a tradition for you. And by the way, it's getting earlier and earlier as the days go on a little bit.
A beautiful one here today because it's trying to peek through them clouds. You get to see the sunrise with DP. If you're watching on the Peacock version, you listen. They start in the dark and they will finish their show here today in the bright sun out in Santa Clara because, well, actually San Francisco. They're actually in San Francisco, where everything else is in Santa Clara. Everybody's bouncing back and forth, but their sets are always my favorite part. Like they always do the Super Bowl week differently and I think better than everybody else.
I agree. That is the show. That's a great show.
Just they do it well and unique enough and not enough like in your face of, hey, we're not going to be the same as everybody else. But sorry, Dan Patrick Show. We're not the same as everybody else.
Continue sending us your hot takes, 877-794-1973. And then if you want to, Denise in Hartford she was our winner yesterday.
Hubertus. Winner yesterday.
Way to go, Denise.
Denise won the tickets to see Tim McGraw. We're gonna have another pair to give away to the Pawn Shop Guitar Tour. That's coming up in the next hour of the program.
And you don't have to do this to win the tickets, but I would suggest you bring her energy. If you match Denise's energy for winning it, it's gonna make everyone feel better because we want someone that we want a winner, but we want someone that really, really wants to win. And boy, I mean, if you didn't get a pep in your step listening to Denise and Hubertus celebrating her car yesterday morning, that was fantastic. Apparently, I'm getting some pushback from Zach and some others. Apparently, it's not just food coloring. Why does it taste so good? I guess
it's just chocolate, isn't it?
I guess there's some flavor profile that's technically a little bit different with red velvet. I don't care what anybody says. You can't tell a difference. It's just chocolate, Billy. Thank you very much. That's my
I'll be honest with you. First time I had it, I thought it was just, I'm like, why am I eating a cherry cake? And everyone's like, well, it's not cherry.
It's not cherry.
You're going to be, and my mind was blown. And I'm like, I did not have enough Happy Place hemp before this. Like, so I was a little bit I guess I expect things from my food.
Yeah.
As a fat, when you put something on the plate, you want to think and know what you're going to get. And it confuses me a little bit. And I don't like to be confounded when my taste buds are working.
Like Superman ice cream, all the colors, it's not sherbet, it's just like vanilla, red or almond or whatever it is. I think so.
Because there is no distinct red flavor, Armin. That's right.
No.
It's the cream cheese frosting gives it the flavor, right?
Ooh,
that's the frosting, not the actual cake.
Exactly.
Right.
And then there's like a buttermilk element if you want to get into the technical side.
Oh,
of it.
Now I would say this:
a great American bake
hot take on the Cake Boss side of this show.
Yes.
All cakes should be made with cream cheese frosting.
Ooh.
Like all cinnamon rolls should also have a cream cheese frosting.
Like
because you put out a non-cream cheese frosting, it just doesn't hit the same way. And when you put it in the microwave, try warming up and get that little bit of a melt going through, it just crisps up and it's not as good.
The red velvet cake, I've had more of red velvet cupcakes, but in my youth, and this is a youth thing, and if you're of a certain vintage, all the Germanic people in our listening area, people with the German roots, as I have, like I'm Swedish on dad's side, 100% German on mom's side.
Yeah.
Right? We used to have the German chocolate cake was a big deal growing up. I don't know if you guys have ever had it. I haven't had it in a gajillion years, but the German chocolate cake.
I know I've had it. Now, what separates that from regular? I'm sounding very uncultured here.
What's the Armenian cake?
Well, I know, but you don't go.
All I know is it's super
chocolate.
chocolate. Like it is like chocolate times 10.
The German chocolate cake has this coconut like layer of frosting, the coconut in the frosting, coconut and like almond or something.
The almond,
or pecan. Coconut pecan frosting kind of sort of.
Well, because Cobb's has the Weihnachtskuchen flavor, which is like almonds. That's the one I could ever pronounce.
All right, so here it is, according to the interwebs. German chocolate cake, a layered American chocolate cake with distinctive coconut pecan frosting, named after an English-American chocolate maker, Samuel German, not Germany. But we used to have it because we were German. The cake layers are typically light and moist, often made with buttermilk and whipped egg whites, while the signature filling is a rich custard-like mixture of egg yolks, evaporated milk, butter, brown sugar, coconut, and pecans cooked
There
on
you
the
go.
stovetop.
Coconut and pecans.
Look at the
And,
picture.
yeah, that's the
You have to
difference.
see it. It's very distinctive. But I had a lot of that growing up.
Oh,
And congrats to the invention for finding a good use for coconut, of which there are not many. Trust me, nobody wants coconut. Nobody,
Not a
nobody
ton.
I
sits
like
around
coconut.
say,
It's
Are you an
but it's
Almond Joy guy?
accoutrement.
yeah.
I'm not an almond joy.
Okay, good. I
Me
was gonna
too.
say like that's my wife's hot take. She's got a lot of hot takes on food. Maybe
She
that's
likes
why she's
almond
been-
joy.
Dude, like it's just like that's the favorite. That's her favorite one in
Wow.
the candy bag.
Wow, that's very rare.
But it's good.
But it's
At least
great because she can eat them. Like exactly, you don't
Get-
waste
go-
them.
doesn't
Yeah.
go to waste in the candy bag at
Oh,
Halloween because
that's a
Dad's
big point.
taking everything else out.
Yeah.
Especially if if the youngster finds any of those Nerds clusters. Good luck because you are not
Those are so
touching
good, man.
any of those things.
That's not
Game
a hot,
over.
that's not a hot take. Nerds clusters are a top 5 candy right now.
I saw yesterday at Costco. Now this was the one that really tested the willpower. The 32-ounce, 2-pound bag of the Nerds gummy clusters.
Oh my!
Wow, that's a big old
And
boy.
I didn't put it into the cart, but I just had to pick it up to see how it feels. Pause. I had to know what that power was like of all that sugar and potency.
Wow.
And then I had to put it back because I don't know that I'm ready for that, Drew. And I don't know that
Speaking
necessarily
of
my teeth
candies,
are ready
I was
for that. But
on the way and I heard
golly.
some guys opining, and they were talking about Giannis, and they were trying to take the thing that Giannis, this act is tired and stuff. Giannis apparently last night during the game got up and left the bench and walked to the locker room,
It got breathlessly reported.
and
Yeah.
people thought he was like, has he been traded? And then
maybe he had to go to the bathroom.
and then he came back with a bag of Skittles.
Now that's my
And
Giannis.
it's like-
Got a guy.
That's
and, then
my
it's and then
Giannis.
they're like, he's trolling. He did that to troll people. No, he wanted to get.
He
some
He
wanted-
probably wanted some Skittles.
wanted
probably had
Skittles.
to-
Yeah.
Probably had to go to the bathroom and get some Skittles.
And he walked by and the BMO Club was open.
what
And
you wanted to see.
the candy was right
Absolutely.
there. He said, "Excuse me, can I take the red bag?"
All right.
They said you can
Tickets
have whatever
to Tim
you want,
McGraw
big
coming
fella.
up. More hot takes, and we got to go back to the Giannis story by Jim Ozarski. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Rolling through a Wednesday in the good land. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, worldwide, the iHeartRadio app, streaming live for thousands. Thousands.
We're getting close. We're getting close.
Now
Facebook,
join us.
YouTube, and X.
We're getting close to the next 1,000 here.
That's right. That's why I said 1,000.
Yeah, I know.
I'm wish casting, but we only need a couple more to put us over the top.
Apparently, my Sprout watched for a second yesterday and then said, "Get this off here. Turn on Miss Rachel."
Yeah, turn on Miss
Dad is
Rachel.
singing
Wow.
no
Where's
song.
Louis?
That's what it is.
Not nearly as fun.
Well, Wheels on the Bus is, it's there.
We
So
can turn
Where
this
is,
into a Mickey Mouse clubhouse.
Where
Listen, we're
is
talking
Bluey
cake.
when you need him? All right,
Sorry.
so if you're just joining us, the first hour of the program, 5 o'clock before the Roosters were up, we were talking about Jim Owczarski's story, his interview with Giannis before the Bucks played the Bulls last evening.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some incredible quotes in the story, which last I checked, and was just a couple minutes ago, none of the Nationals have picked it up yet. What is going on?
No, and we said it at similar to sometimes on the pregame show on Packers Preview, we would play the Drew Olson first word game, and that over-under would get set about 21 after the hour. I was putting it at 21 after the hour here. Like 8:21 East Coast time, 7:21 for us in our third hour, because that means that, Drew, maybe they try to claim it as breaking news during the first segment of Get Up coming up here in a couple of minutes. And all of a sudden Shams is the one that breaks in with additional reporting on top of it, or they're just going to completely ghost it and not think about it at all. If it doesn't happen within the next hour, I don't think they're going to acknowledge the report or the interview at all.
You're probably right. But Jim had some great quotes from Giannis talking about being in Milwaukee, which right now I'm looking at the Journal Sentinel site. Why have they moved that out of the top position?
Yeah, that needs to stay on the top position
Why is
through
that
the
not
entire
your top
day.
story? Like, what's getting more clicks than that?
When Giannis talks about some people having the audacity to say that he does not love Milwaukee, when he gets asked about the question that Jim just pens to him, what do you want? What I want deep down in my heart is to be a Milwaukee Buck for the rest of my career and win here, as he continues to outline it and talks about when he returned to play after his first calf strain, came back on December 3rd. Many people thought that might be his last game in Milwaukee, right? There was some weird feeling and rumbling going into that Pistons game that he might be closer to the depart than to an extension, only to get hurt again then in January. And the team told him to come out of the game in the first quarter against the Nuggets. He said, no, I'm not coming out. I'm playing. Why do I play? Because I have something. I'm chasing something, or because I love my team. I play because I bleed green. I play because I know what I've built here. For me, it's a huge puzzle. It's a huge Lego piece that I've built, and I don't like people taking pieces out from it. I want to keep on building as much as I can. And that, to me, Drew, was a statement of, I want this to be the Milwaukee Bucks organization that we've continued to build. And as guys like Peter Fagan, where he was at the city of Milwaukee moment that
birthday?
he
Key to
had,
the city.
the key to the city
Key to
moment
the
that he
city,
had.
yeah.
He had the t-shirt that at one point had a Jim Paschke picture on it, had a Peter Fagan picture on it. And I love Peter Fagan. Those are guys that were core members of the organization when he was here and growing up here. And understandably so, he's looking around seemingly like the Will Smith meme, being like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Where is everybody?
It's so true.
Where is everybody? I mean, like, even the folks that you wouldn't necessarily think of. Now, there's a couple of folks like Nick Monroe is still there. Like Dan Smechek is still there.
Those
Some of the
type
guys,
yeah.
he would definitely still be around a lot. But the support staff that, like, Brett Favre talked about loving and becoming almost better friends with later in his career because they were the only ones that were still there. It seems like Giannis is having that moment where he's like, damn, everybody's new. And I don't know, should I go somewhere new? Like, I don't want to, but it feels like this isn't the same organization that I've been in. And it feels like he's having a little bit of an identity crisis in that way.
I think that's absolutely true, Billy. And I think that's what's been happening all year. I think I believe Giannis when he says what he says, that deep down what he'd like to have is a career-long escapade in Milwaukee. But I think when things change and everything around you change, and when you start maybe hearing different messages from the organization than you've ever heard, and I think that's kind of what he was implying with this verbiage to Jim Owczarski is like, I don't know what they want. I want to be here, but I don't know what they want. So that's the whole I'm just an employee thing. Maybe this is the first time he's gotten indications that maybe he's not as wanted no matter what as he is. I think John Horst is probably the one standby guy that's been there the whole time that probably in a position of power is consistent about it and says like, I've always fought to try and, build a winner around you to try and see what we can get for you. I've continued to. But I'm not sure if he feels that the rest of the organization isn't that way. He said, what did he say? They're not talking to me. What was the other thing that he said?
They haven't been to a game.
They haven't been to a game in a while. So maybe wondering, like you said, Billy, if this is the group and not just on the court, right off the court. Obviously, his on the court guys, the guys he came up with, the guys he built a winner with, Drew, Chris, the Brooks of the world, his best friends.
He's still got Portis there, right?
He's still got Bobby, obviously, but that's like, it's hard sometimes when you have to process that, when you're so emotionally connected to things as Giannis is. Giannis has always been that type of guy that those things matter to him, the loyalty, the relationships.
The evolution, though, Armin, it's like a natural thing when you play 13 years in a spot, right? Because remember, I remember Brett Favre was get dressed in the coach's locker room.
Yeah.
Like when he's the old man and related more to the guys he had been around, the equipment guys and stuff, more than some of the teammates. Rodgers went through the same thing
part
too.
Of the story, yeah.
Like the guys that I played with, my guys are starting to drift off, and they're gone.
I assume Robin went through that as well, right? Like, I mean, did he have anybody that would have been a wingman throughout the entire time that he was here with Gantner for most of it?
Paul and Jim Gantner. That's the thing.
Yeah, but
that's the thing.
But in the last couple of years, it was,
probably Tony Miggs, right?
Like,
because it was somebody that was a holdover and somebody that he knew. Totally. And like, I wonder how much that's weighing on the part of the decision. And Euchre, no doubt. Yep.
Absolutely. That's a good point. Yeah.
But and then the stuff Giannis said about his kid's birth certificate saying born in Milwaukee, his father being buried here. And he spent more time in Milwaukee, Wisconsin than he did in, he said, my country, Greece.
It's eye-opening.
It's factual. So it's really interesting stuff. Urge everybody, shout out to Jim Ozarski, friend of the show, who we would love to have called him and had him on today, but it's too early.
He worked last night.
He worked late last night. He's putting the stuff out, but it's a great Giannis story. We urge you to read it. It's just, and again, we've said it before, if he is going to be traded, and it's 50-50 maybe. I think it's not by Thursday, but by the summer.
No, in the summer, I think it's a very much 50-50 proposition. Now, what that did also signal to me, Drew, and I need to do the full digging on the bird rights and how much more money the Bucks can potentially offer coming up at the end. I don't think it's a significant amount, right? Like the last Supermax contract, it was a like $80-90 million difference as to how much he could sign for with the Bucks, opposite of somebody else. I think it's very similar once you reach the 12-year threshold or the 13-year threshold, and you can kind of sign a similar deal in a lot of different places, but that's going to be a part of it. There's one thing that I know Giannis really, really loves. He definitely loves Milwaukee. He loves money.
Loves getting paid.
He says, I bleed green, a Bucks green as well as a Benjamin green. Which has a little bit of a blue tint to it.
Yes.
Just like that beautiful Bucks blue that you got rocking right here. So depending upon how much more money they are able to add in here, that's going to be the question that, and maybe that's where his agency is giving him a little bit of a conversation point here of like, hey, they definitely want you. They don't necessarily know that they want you for $275 million for 4 years or how many other teams will want you for that.
There's something to that point that maybe I've always assumed that he'll get the offer, right, from the Bucks, that he, like that extension, the max.
Course.
But this is the first time I've considered that maybe that wouldn't be on the table for him, and maybe that's something he's wondering too. Like deep down, is there part of himself like maybe they don't want me, maybe they won't even offer me this deal, this extension. Like I have the right to sign it if it's offered, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, in theory. We never imagine a world in which the Bucks wouldn't always offer that, but maybe this is it.
I also struggle to live in a world, Drew, and this is just me being naive and young and, well, not so young anymore. I struggle to live in a world where somebody can turn down $275 million guaranteed. Right? There's something to that's close to, and again, I'm not a mathematician. That's roughly $78 million a year.
Well, pre-tax.
Sure. So
you're right.
Okay, but post-tax, they play 82 of these things. That's close to $500,000 a night.
But
that's tough for me to pass up.
Somebody's paying him, right?
I've been through this in the past, though, because people would say this back when Brett Favre was doing his, alas, he was doing the whole thing. Should I retire or not? And it was like, I heard it from so many people. He's got enough money he can just go ride his tractor in Mississippi and be happy. He's got enough money. And at that point, the salaries weren't what they are now. Yeah. But I'm like, if he's made $100 million in his career and they're going to pay him $10 million to keep doing what he did a year, a 1/10 of his all-time earnings he gets just for showing up and doing what's easy for him. Mm-hmm. Are you insane?
Why would I?
First of all, and there's no such thing as enough money.
That's the
Nobody's got enough money. I'm like Bill Gates and Elon Musk and all these guys. They still get up in the morning.
Yeah.
They're still grinding. You know what? Making more money.
Their favorite money is the next money.
Exactly. I think my favorite million's the next million.
Sure. I think the way Giannis thinks too is like he had the famous interview. It's not about the lobsters. Like it's not about having as nice of things as you can. That's not why I play, and I believe him. But I also believe that what it is for Giannis is does generations of his family have enough money for it?
Yes.
I think that's what it is for him.
They do now, for sure.
Wants to,
but
yeah, probably, but you never until when you want to set a legacy where your family and all his kids and all of his brothers are set with a legacy to have generational wealth forever. So I think that's what for him. Yeah, for his life, sure, he's got enough money. I mean, and what does that mean to live in what lifestyle and those things? Right. You can always answer those questions.
I can always spend more of it though.
You can always invest in more businesses. He can always do more for his home country.
Remember when people said, "Oh, he bought an apartment in New York." Well, he bought real estate in like New York, Chicago, Milwaukee. He's diversifying his holdings, which is what rich people do.
You bought a house. Well, a lot of guys buy houses when they have that much money. So I totally
he's going to play for the Knicks because he bought properties in Manhattan. Like, no, he bought them as an investment.
Which, if he's not doing, he's
I think he owns a whole block in Milwaukee that people don't really know.
The one in New York, he bought the condo. Yes, I do believe he bought the building. Like I think the more you dig into it, I think he bought the building. So it's like there's a part of it, and you want to find as much and as much money as you can. And it's also been slapped away, Drew, the notion that you're gonna. Maybe he would make more money in endorsements if he had a New York Knicks jersey on. However, I think we're going to see him on 2 or 3 Super Bowl commercials coming up on Sunday with Cole.
Got a new shoe coming out.
Got a new shoe. It doesn't matter where you're at.
Be there. LeBron was in Cleveland.
He's got all the endorsements.
He's got that doesn't matter anymore. It's a global society, right?
As much revenue as you can find.
Okay, so the crux of it is what Jim Ozarski asked, what do you want? He said he wants to retire a buck. And he wants to have chances to win championships. And he said he's in the prime of his career. He might have like 5 more years at his peak where he's like championship caliber, right?
Which I think is fair.
And so, and then it became, I want to, but is that what they want? And the but was, are we aligned? And that's what we have to see. What can they do? What can they do if the Bucks make a trade outside on the edges to add something, or what's this pick look like, or what does their offseason look like, and what can they maneuver around? Because everything they've done is to try to get Giannis in this window. It hasn't worked out. The Dame thing didn't work out. They've had injuries. They aged out. They put a lot of stuff on the credit card, and the bill came due. Right? It's happened before, but the quotes were instructive though. And it's 2 sides of the coin. He wants to stay in Milwaukee, but he also wants to win. And that is what he has said for every time we've been through this, every extension he signed is like, I want to have a chance to win. I want it to be here. Now, can those 2 things be married? That's what's on John Horst's plate.
And that will be the answer the question that we need answered to. And I think I think it's a fair question to ask, Drew, because they do have so many things that are against them in the roster build. However, you could also, and maybe for the only time in the organization's existence, when Giannis is on your team, you're somewhat in the wheelhouse of acquiring disgruntled star. Like we had somebody on for a hot take hump day moment earlier today, said the Bucks are going to still swing a deal for Ja Morant. Now, I don't know that Ja Morant is a superstar that we hope he is.
I don't know if he's the answer. But
I don't know that he is, but I would assume they're in any conversation to try to grab somebody like that.
His value is diminished. Now, the other thing is the Jaren Jackson haul yesterday, if that's what you get for Jaren Jackson, like clearly no single team can put together the package to get Giannis.
That's what I think.
But also 3 years in a player option for Jaren Jackson going to be different than the 1 year for Giannis at the end. So like there's weird.
Whoever trades for Giannis already has the eye on extending him, which is
Well, and
by the way, did you see Draymond's presser?
I was just going to say, I love that.
Draymond's presser was like, do you think this might have been your last game? He's like, I don't know, maybe. It's like, but if it was, it's been a hell of a ride.
Hell of a ride, man.
Let's
It's been
go.
fun. It's been awesome.
He was at peace with what happened.
Very resigned to it. And so he's definitely been
And
told of what would be the case. Memphis has also said, they're like, hey, anybody that wants to make the big deal and needs more picks, we'll help. We got 13 of them. So you let us know and we want it.
Should we be looking at Steph Curry, though? Because look at, like, that's the end. Their dynasty appears to be on the wane, right? They're trying to, like, Jimmy Butler blowing out hurt him.
Yeah.
And Steph Curry stayed there. Now, Steph Curry had the more championships, a longer window than Giannis has had, but it's coming to an end there too.
Yeah, but that's
they're trying one last.
That's
guy.
also
He's
big
5-6
market
years
privilege.
ahead of Giannis on the age thing, right? So how do you reconcile that?
Some people
Right?
say
So what
his
are they
game
doing?
translates to elder years.
Should Steph Curry try to be going somewhere else to try to win, right?
Well,
Or what he's trying to do is trying to bring people in.
He's been always trying to bring somebody in. They've always been trying to bring somebody in. But Bonte Hill, who I've known for a while, and he does pre and post on NBC Sports Bay Area. And he had mentioned it last night. He's like, whatever you're watching here, though, you do have to know they need multiple moves. They're not a Giannis move away from winning a title for Golden State. And even though everybody wants to know and how are they going to get Giannis, it's been like, yeah, we'll just get Giannis and everything's fixed. I don't think that's necessarily the case.
It's not part of the calculus.
More teams are learning that when you have to chase a group like OKC right now.
Yep.
And now maybe OKC will be the team that turns the NBA back, turns the clock back a little bit and gets this back to dynasty basketball. But we'll have to see it to believe it. It looks like they're doing it. And everybody, even out west, is like, yeah, sure, we got 38-year-old Steph Curry. We have one more year of Giannis, and then what? That's why you start looking at some of these packages that those Warriors picks are interesting. Because any team that has Giannis for his additional contract, I don't think is all that. I'm not that interested in their picks.
Because they're going to win.
Because they're going to be winning.
Yeah.
I'm not all that interested in picks of a team that Giannis is going to be on for the next 3, 4, 5 years. But Golden State could be the team that he's not on. I like him to be on this one more, though. And as much as I asked the question and I kind of tried to get an answer from Armin, I don't think we got one of the would you prefer to be the 7 seed and muddle in NBA mediocrity? Kind of what the Bulls are.
They absolutely
The
are.
Bulls are in NBA purgatory where maybe they're the 6th or the 8th seed.
And they keep shuffling around the deck chairs with these
They
trades.
won't be in the lottery and they're just going to keep playing around.
Yeah,
Would you rather do that or blow it up and have a legit maybe chance without Giannis?
Memphis is tearing down, trying to follow the Oklahoma City blueprint now.
I mean, Cleveland got rid of Garland. That was a huge centerpiece for them for a while, for their future. So when does it start and when does it end? That's why there are no guarantees in these future picks and future stars. Even if they're young and talented, there's no guarantees it'll work.
Here's another hot take for you. And earlier we were talking about the Pro Bowl games, which Billy loved. And you mentioned some people were predisposed, baked in, that they were going to hate it and they were going to dump on it. If that's your thing, that's going to be the worst part of Sunday is the halftime show, because people are going to be dumping on Bad Bunny and they're already firing up. They might as well just preload the tweets now to get to time them to
There's
go
a
off.
lot in the draft.
There's
a lot in the
You
draft.
might as well. And that is going to be like an insufferable thing because there are people no matter what. It's funny because like people were like Bruno Mars, and then he got on there and he blew the doors off the joint. And they're like, oh, this guy's amazing.
That was great.
But nobody's going to go into this with an open mind. You've already decided that you hate the halftime show. You hate the idea of the halftime show.
That's why I already preloaded it in of like, hey, I can't watch it. Because I think it'll be more entertaining than some people will like. However, nobody will want to say it. But I got to put the kid to bed, and that's the only Super Bowl halftime.
That's right. I have
It's
to
the
get dessert
perfect
out.
bedtime, baby.
That's right.
The perfect bedtime for a 40-minute.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, well, I'm sure we'll be talking about that on Monday.
Our second half adjustment's going to be kind of Patriot level, I think, though. I'm telling you.
Okay, I like that.
I'm telling you. I'm leaning, Armin.
Giddy up.
Heavily.
When we come back, our buddy John Greenberg, El Jefe, president of the Milwaukee Admirals, will join us, talk a little hockey. Armin was working the game last night. They lost to the Golden Griffins of Grand Rapids, the best team in the American Hockey League at the moment. We'll talk hockey with him. We'll continue to take your hot takes, and we've got Tim McGraw tickets coming up. That show's August 22nd. Stay tuned for your chance to win Alpine Valley Music Theater. Going to be a blast. Pawn Shop Guitar Tour 2026. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Continuing the huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison. That walk-up music means it's time to say hello to our pal El Jefe himself, president of the Milwaukee Admirals, friend of the program, John Greenberg. Good morning, Greeny. Thanks for getting up early for us.
Of course, absolutely. Good to talk to you guys as always.
Especially after another Tuesday night game.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, we've had a lot of them, haven't we?
Yes.
A lot of weekdays, but only a few left. I think we're down to 3 weekday games, one of which is a school day game. So yeah, if you want to see us on a weekday, got a couple more opportunities. Otherwise, lots of weekend hockey.
Weekends are ahead of us. Yeah.
I'm excited for the school day game. I'm gonna be bringing the youngster to that one. Now there's a difficult question here, Greeny, because I always remember the song saying Saturday night's all right for fighting. Apparently Tuesday night's all right for fighting too. Goodness gracious, these closes to the period. Yesterday, I can only imagine Armin and everybody in the game ops wondering what we were about to do at the close of the period when the absolute melee ensues.
Oh, the ship is there. We're all waiting. Everyone, we're about to do an electric obviously we had
human hockey puck, right?
Human hockey puck.
We got everything queued up.
We had Goolsby's gamble shot. We had all the great things.
But Greeny, what fires people up differently in the second period? Because my goodness, that there was no intermission stop for a soda with all the penalties that they had to line up after that one yesterday.
Yeah, that got a little wild, that's for sure. And there's certainly some dislike for some of the activity that was out there on the ice, and our guys were not going to put up with it anymore. Obviously, we were losing in the game, so there's the frustration of that, but also, you don't want to see guys get taken advantage of out there. So kudos to our guys for jumping in there and making sure that Grand Rapids knew that there would be no more of that, and things clearly calmed down in the third period. But I noticed that as soon as that period ended, the referees sent the guys immediately to the locker room. They didn't try to sort out the penalties on the ice. Our scorekeeper and the penalty box judges both went right to the referees room to kind of find out everything that was going on. And then when you came back out for the third period, there were 9 guys in the penalty box, 5 for one team and 4 for the other.
They're
so
just
it was
slammed in there.
Yep, and some of those guys, most of them were in there for more than half of the period because they got misconducts and things like that. And finally, it was like a jailbreak when they finally let them all out. You don't normally see 8 guys go out of the penalty box at the same time, so it was good that things got a bit more under control. But yeah, there's a dislike between our two teams for sure.
Drew, it started seeming like how timeouts going in my house. Both of you. Separate corners.
Timeout.
You in your room, and we'll figure this out in a minute after I clear my head.
Yeah. When I misbehaved as a kid, my dad would give me a technical foul. And then and if I got it was like a 3-strike thing. 3, I was ejected. 1 was like a timeout, like 2, 3 is go to your room. I don't want to see you till tomorrow. That was it. Technical fouls were our thing.
In the locker room.
I thought he was Mendy Rudolph back in the day.
Mendy Rudolph.
Armin's favorite NBA referee.
Well, he's up
Drew's
there.
like, wow, when did I become Chris Paul, Scott
Yeah,
Foster? Why am I getting a T for that?
Well, and the thing is, as you know, Greeny, I mean, the way the AHL schedule works out, and the division plays each other so much. I mean, you can only fight with your brother so much until there's going to be some sort of issue. And then we had we had some. It was Women in Sports Night last night, Greeny, as you know, and we had Ashley Washburn there. And we had Kara Hammer there, ringside for the Natural Predators. And Ashley Washburn she was part of Little Brother, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and she had her little sister there who was asking me when they were going to start fighting. I said, just wait, they're going to get one going. And then finally, we got fulfilled there in the end of the second period. But overall, except for the result, it was a great night at the arena last night with Women in Sports Night.
Yeah, Women in Sports is a special night. We've got an unbelievable staff of women that work for the Admirals, and they take ownership of that project every year. And the ticket package we had sold out. The list of panelists that we had was incredible. We had, I think, 10 or 11 different women who were coming from all different parts of the sports world from all over the country who made the trip in and were part of that. And, a lot of rave reviews, but big kudos to the ladies on my team that do all that work.
Yeah, that's outstanding. John Greenberg joining us. Grand Rapids is like the gold standard right now in your league, right? And I did see their bus yesterday afternoon as I was walking around downtown. And I'm like, we should have parked outside of their hotel and made some noise in the morning.
We could have caused a racket in downtown.
I did see they have a nice looking
Post
coach
up
bus.
in the lobby.
Yeah,
It's like the bus Jordan got for the minor league team when they rode around.
That made me think, Greeny, is your bus logoed? Is it decked out? Do you guys want to travel incognito on the road?
Our bus is all black because we're tough. So
I like
we
that.
don't.
That's what I'm talking about.
The Geezer
logo
Palooza
on the
bus.
We come in hot with the dark black bus, and I not that I would ever want this to happen, but if somebody would have stuck a banana in the tailpipe of that bus, that would have been the worst idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That would have been all right.
Or an old euchre, put a Usinger sausage in the cigarette holder and see if that works.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how you
cook
cook
it on the way home.
So, Greeny, big night coming up at the rink on Saturday, concert night. Let's get it.
Yeah, first one, and Low Cash, great country show. Those guys have been all over the hockey world the last month or so. They played the game in Iowa a few weeks back, and just this past Sunday they were in Tampa for that unbelievable Stadium Series game. They played the pregame for that. So we're excited to have them. They're really geeked up to come here, and we still have tickets available. So there's still some ice passes left. There's certain tickets for the game, and we're expecting an electric night in the building and playing Rockford, who I don't know if you remember the last time they were here.
Oh yeah,
last week was there was a little nonsense going on there too. So we'll see where that goes. But it's going to be a great night of music and entertainment. You buy a ticket to the game and you get the concert for free.
Well, in the entertainment, obviously post game, but you want to talk about an electric night at the arena? I believe it's also Girl Scout night.
Come on now.
Girl Scouts are in attendance. You know it's going to be loud. You know it's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Will there be cookies available on site, or will that only be for purchase in the future for delivery at my door?
Yeah, I do believe there'll be QR codes. I know Aaron Sims, our beloved radio voice, sent out a link to be able to buy Girl Scout cookies for his daughter, and that was. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of that going on. But
need that code, Aaron.
I know in the past we've had cookies to sell. I don't know if they'll be there on that Saturday night. I've not heard that, but I know we've done it in the past.
I don't know
I'm
if
telling
they
you,
ba- I
second
don't know if they
period with
baked
some
them yet.
peanut butter patties.
Well,
I'd be
yeah, I
next
mean,
level.
you don't
guys
think-
talk about housing the entire sleeve. That is over.
Admirals fans just taking a sleeve of Thin Mints during
One
the second
shift.
intermission. Absolutely. That cup long power play right there. I mean,
That'd be amazing. Hey, Greeny, I got to know when you, if you dialed into the Bruins Lightning game, did you chuckle when they were talking about how cold it was at 43 degrees in Tampa? You had to chuckle about that.
It's the My Kingdom for 43 degrees. Are you kidding me? People are tough enough down there for gosh sake.
I mean, come on.
That was pretty amazing to have a game in Florida where it was 40 degrees out. That is kind of crazy, but I think the guys had a blast playing in that game, and fans looked like they had fun. I think the only person that looked like they were maybe cold was the guitar player for Tim McGraw during the first intermission, who I'm not sure he knew how to use his fingers in 40-degree weather, but they still put out an unbelievable show. NHL, we were talking about this. The NHL really probably should try and own that date, the date between the where there's no Super Bowl.
Yep.
They should own that date, and I think they would do very well if they could get a show like that every year. I think that'd be pretty amazing.
I love it that the narrative was how cold it was, and it was 50 degrees warmer than what you guys had in Hastings, Minnesota.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, we're
try,
still
guys.
talking about how cold that was. Yeah, right.
Has Aaron thought out yet? Is he fully
He
thought?
didn't lose
or-
any digits or anything, did he? He still has 10.
No, he is fully functional battle
Good.
station there, and he's gotten a lot of props for what he did that night all over the country
As
and
he
the hockey
should.
world. And
Yeah.
every word is deserved.
Absolutely, as he should.
Hey, I also see that Nash, the Preds mascot, is going to be in the house on Saturday. So some Nash and Roscoe
Nashville
shenanigans.
night, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It is. Yeah, it's Nashville night, so we're leaning into the country music theme on Saturday night, and so there'll be a lot of Nashville stuff. So speaking of Tim McGraw, that's part of the goal song for Nashville. So I'm 99.999% sure that's the goal song for us on Saturday night. Hope we hear it a lot.
You
Yeah.
are you're the best because that's a perfect segue. Because in our next segment, we're giving away tickets to see Tim McGraw at Alpine Valley,
Like you
August
know.
22nd. It's amazing. It's like Greeny was
Well,
on a
I'll
meeting.
Yeah, whatever I can do to help the show.
Appreciate
And we need all the help we can get. And the Preds continue to just chip away and dig out of that bad start they got off to, and they're hovering around the fringe. It's like I keep watching I get alerts on my phone of how the Preds are doing. It's like, oh, they won again. They keep chipping away. at it.
wild week there in Nashville. They were down 5-1 in the middle of the game yesterday, and or 2 nights ago
Monday,
against St. Louis, and came back and won the game, which it was incredible. And it gave me hope last night, but I think Grand Rapids might be better than St. Louis. So, that was a tough chore for us. But, Barry Trotz announcing his retirement.
Yeah.
It was big news down there. So a lot going on in the world of Nashville, and it's going to be an interesting few weeks there for sure.
I was going to ask you about Barry, and I don't mean to, if you want to tell me a GFY, please do. Will that affect you guys at all? Will that be different with your guys' mechanics going up and down? Obviously, a different decision maker in the future, but it sounds like it's going to be kind of a slow phase into retirement for Barry, kind of, right?
Yeah. He's in charge of the shop for until they find a replacement. So, they said he'll be in charge of the trade deadline. I'm sure he'll probably get through the rest of the season. They'd like to have somebody ideally in place by the draft, which is at the end of June. So I don't anticipate any changes now, but you never know when we get a new person in. We just hope the philosophy is the same, that we have to develop players at this level and have guys who are prepared to come up and make an impact in Nashville, and winning here is going to be important. So we want to hear all those things. And, we met with their owner last week. He came to town and saw us for the first time. Bill, no, not Nick. Nick did not take a trip. No. Bill Haslam came in and spent time with us. If Nick Saban comes in, Billy, you're first on my call list.
That's
amazing.
Yeah.
If Saban's there, we need to talk about this program and how we develop these players and be able to continue a winning culture. Because Nick's going to help. Nick's going to figure it out. I'm excited for that.
I'll do human hockey puck, maybe. That'd be.
I ain't doing that, so quit asking, all right?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Miss Terry said I don't do the human hockey puck. Huh?
Oh, that'll
Miss
be
Terry, I can do a two-step here for the Low Cash concert. We can do that.
Saturday night, Panther
Get your
Arena.
50-50 raffle tickets.
We got a 6:00 face-off because you got the concert late night or after the game. But for late night for Billy and for
Very
Armin,
late
for
night,
us,
yeah,
it's
no
gonna be a
doubt.
late night for everybody else. It's in the wheelhouse, but the Low Cash concert is gonna rock. Greeny, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks. Good to talk to you as always.
All right,
Great.
MilwaukeeAdmirals.com for tickets. Still tickets available for the Low Cash night.
And I want to say one quick thing. Speaking of late nights, shout out once more to Kara Hammer. She's the ringside reporter for the Preds, who had a game Monday, came in, flew in here to participate in the Women in Sports Night in Milwaukee on a Tuesday. And she was the only one that got up earlier than us guys. Had a 5 a.m. flight back to Nashville this morning.
Whoa.
So, hey, she's already probably back there
we go.
and ready to go for tonight. They have a back-to-back tonight and on the road tomorrow. So she's working all week.
She's grinding.
So thanks for coming out. Kara, was great to
She's grinding.
have her work with us.
She
I think you've been replaced, Billy. I hate to say it. But her and Ashley
I was going to
Washburn-
say her and Ashley definitely should probably replace me. Now, I was wondering, I do like how Armin finagled himself into Women's and Sports Night.
I don't know how these things happen, guys. I really
I
don't.
know, yeah,
I
our
really
friend
don't.
Marty Ronsky was on the panel. And,
Marty, she dropped the first ceremonial first
and
puck.
Karita from the Bucks showed up. It's huge, absolutely huge. All right, Billy, we've got a question for folks to win some Tim McGraw tickets. Greeny teed it up perfectly. So to win Tim McGraw tickets to see the Pawn Shop Tour 2026, August 22nd, Alpine Valley Music Theater. Billy, what's the question for today?
One man stole the show last night. You guys know I was watching. You know I was tuned in. And when an offensive lineman is going to score a touchdown, it might not pay out like 20-1 at the Potawatomi Sportsbook like it does for the Super Bowl. Last night, one offensive lineman scored a touchdown in the Pro Bowl game in Santa Clara. Name him, and you're going to see Tim McGraw in August.
877-794-1973. We will anoint the winner when we come back. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. We're dominating Wednesday on the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armin bringing it to you. Time to give away. I mean, Greeny teed it up for us perfectly.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Time to give away the tickets to see Tim McGraw, the Pawn Shop Guitar Tour 2026. It is August 22nd at Alpine Valley in East Troy. Special guests, Winchester 49 and Timothy Wayne. We announced this show and gave away tickets. The first pair on Tuesday. I think Friday we'll probably give away 2 pair of tickets. Just saying.
Oh, I like that.
Today,
I like
you
that.
don't win today, you kind of got like 3 more chances 3 more bites at the apple, to coin the phrase.
Oh, I like that. That boy, Matt Arnold.
But we want to give this away. And Billy gave us the question going into break. We opened up the phones, and the Armin was swarmed during the commercial break with phone calls. Billy, what was the question one more time?
The question was pretty simple. Last night, while the Pro Bowl games were on and everybody was watching, I mean, everybody was watching. Maybe not. One offensive lineman stole the show. He had a 2-point conversion BS-fully nullified via penalty, but they made up for it when Shedeur Sanders threw a touchdown pass to what offensive lineman in the NFL, as we go to our friend right now, Scott in Greendale. Scott, what offensive lineman scored a touchdown last night in the Pro Bowl?
Good morning, guys. I flipped it on at the right time. Garrett Bowles.
And the highlight last night, courtesy of ESPN.
Sanders pressure. Bowles! Is that Bowles again? You can't keep him out of the end zone.
When you get a center, you get Jason Kelsey on the call, and you get an offensive lineman into the end zone, you better believe it's getting brought up on this show, and you better believe, Scott, you turned it on at the absolute right time last night. Garrett Bowles.
Sure did.
The touchdown. Congratulations, man. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Scott. Hang on the line so Armin can
Thank
get
you,
your
guys.
information. You're going to see Tim McGraw on us. People really win just by listening to the Huddle. It's your reward for getting up early with us.
Now, a couple of things, Drew. Number one, Garrett Bowles was rocking the receiver gloves. Right? When you know that a big fella was excited when they say, hey, you don't need these ugly offensive lineman gloves that maybe we cut off the finger, like the fingers just to look cool and gritty. No, we're going to give you a full lineup. And my man had the full lineup. He had the backwards hat on. He had the long sleeve. He had the tights on. He had the gloves. He was in full receiver swag last night and became a little bit of a red zone problem when Shedeur Sanders was out there. I know you're stunned. Shedeur Sanders did throw a pick on his first drive.
Hey, now.
The quarterback of the AFC. And they just scanned over to him, and he looked as puzzled as Sam Darnold in a Jets jersey. And then all of a sudden, later on in the game, he started looking for the offensive lineman. He said, look at God. It got a whole lot better for you.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious. Hey, we talk about people getting up early with us. We've been spending a lot of our day talking about Jim Ozarski's story. I just put a tweet out. I don't usually complain. I'm not one of those guys. If they bring me the wrong entree,
yeah,
I mean, I'll eat it. So don't even.
I'm not sending it back if it's a little medium rare than medium. Yeah,
sending it back. I'm not sending it back, right?
No.
But I did had to call out the Journal Sentinel because that story that Jim wrote is like you got to like look for it. It's the Hubble telescope you need to find the best story that they're going to have on their site today.
Are you kidding? Like it's
what are you doing?
The quotes from a 2-time MVP arguably, and again, Dan Schaefer's tweet gave us some run earlier in the week. Yeah. Arguably the most beloved athlete in the state's history, stating that he bleeds green and wants to retire a member of the Milwaukee Bucks. A day that they play, a day after he spoke at the game, in which people thought him going and getting a bag of Skittles, Drew, was him getting traded to the Golden State Warriors. It is kind of disappointing. Not just kind of, it's rather disappointing that they wouldn't have that be as featured prominently as it could be. And I wondered, you mentioned it, and we're still waiting for ESPN to put it anywhere on their the main page online or on their NBA page online of the quotes of Giannis saying that. It makes you wonder, like Jim's not on X right now. And like, maybe that's where some of the aggregation continues to roll through. And like, it seems like people will either want it to get buried or just don't want to spotlight how good a journalism that was from Jim last night.
Absolutely. It's just bizarre.
That should be as highlighted as anything on that website.
One of my old sports editors once, we were bemoaning the way things were run on the non-sports aspect of the paper. And he said, this is the only paper in the country that can bury a story on page 1A.
Well, what are we talking? What do we got? We got Westminster Dog Show previews coming up for this weekend. Is there a school board conversation we got to get into?
I think Didn't a Doberman Pinscher win Best in Show?
Yes.
Last night? Come on
really?
now. I don't
That
know
was,
how Brian
seismic.
Posick didn't have that in the update. I think he should. I mean, talk about sport. Yeah,
Now, I
that's a
don't
big
necessarily
upset.
love that the Puppy Bowl's not on Super Bowl Sunday.
I know. What is that? That's the way it used to be. The Puppy Bowl should be
was.
on now. Come
I
on now.
agree.
That
I
would have been
agree.
great for the kiddos, on the second TV, Billy.
It would have been phenomenal,
right.
and it almost was our, wake and bake story of the day, brought to you by Happy Place.
How about that? Rob and Chris and Muskego making great products for you. The code is changing. Use the code HUDDLE for 25% off everything you order at happyplacehemp.com with free shipping. That's right. Free shipping if you use the code HUDDLE at happyplacehemp.com. What's our wake and bake story today, Billy? What do you got?
It was one that when I first heard the story, way back when Bussin' with the Boys first started their podcast, a number of years ago, I got inflicted with COVID-19 in the early days of it. I was down for a good week and a half. Luckily, they were about 12 shows in. One of their main shows was one that they interviewed their former head coach, or their current head coach when they were with the Tennessee Titans, Will Compton and Taylor Lewan, Mike Vrabel. They got Vrabes on yesterday from the Super Bowl to discuss his famous first story and to discuss the quote that you maybe had to wake and bake to hear correctly when he said he would cut his off for a Super Bowl championship as a head coach. Well, now, coach, you're 60 minutes away. You're 60 minutes away.
How many times have you been asked this week about that?
Just a couple. I mean, somebody asked me in Boston.
Yeah. What was your answer to them?
I mean, I'd probably cut it in half.
Okay.
Leave her 6.
With maybe the greatest one that you only could have to have a gummy potentially to have. Now, I don't know if Vrabes is just cutting one-liners like that without performances answers, but that is a line that me and the boys would have potentially sparked up. And a walk-off in a circle. Instead, Vrabes is like, yeah, what's up, man?
Khalil would like a word. Just saying. Now, the Wake and Bake story brought to us by happyplacehemp.com. Fill your cart. Use the code HUDDLE for 25% off and free shipping. Oh, we're looking forward to tomorrow already. We've made it through the tough part of the week.
The toughest part is over. We're over the hump now.
Second half adjustments will abound
Our
tomorrow.
delivery from happyplacehemp.com using promo code HUDDLE is on its way with free shipping.
Can't wait. What a great story that is. Vrabel was also asked by Dave Damashek if the Super Bowl, is this a must-win game on Sunday?
Oh, geez.
He said every game in the NFL is a must-win. Classic. We'll see you tomorrow at 5. Enjoy Dan Patrick.
Peace.